upgrade or two here coming in from NIP, but I was impressed with Apex's movements after that tag and also the teammates taking the space and punishing NIP right there. Zaiwu and Shock's getting big thumbs up. It's good to see NIP locking themselves in for that legend status, especially with the major being on home soil. That's going to be great for a lot of the fans, right? They're only going to be 3 matches away in that second round of Swiss from being on that stage, so really, really cool stuff. And so many younger names than that to see on that stage as well. So it's going to be quite the experience for everybody here as we get to celebrate our lovely game. But here we are again, back towards Yard and multiple rifles peering in their direction. Zaiwu up from the heaven, chimes on in with Apex, and the combo now being more than established here.
Yeah, I think they've got a very good idea. Not only the straight bullet out of Rez's dig, but good nade onto the nose of Hampus. Should very well have this one set for success. More chip damage converted. We can see Plopsky down to 80. And I don't think they're going to leave Yard, Chad.
Nah, why would you?
Ready to have a biff. Sticking around, hoping their digs will connect. There's only 2 in play, and make that 1.
It's a bit of an uneven aim map right now, isn't it? Right, we spawn with the rifles. You guys here can just try your luck on these pistols without anything behind it, but one after the other, they're going to fall like flies.
Any more of that? Any more? The answer is no. A 3-0 start for the French, and now it's time for the rifles. Absence of frags, I think there's 3 total so far from the Ninjas in Pyjamas, so Vitality couldn't really have had a better beginning to this nuke defense.
Look at Apex, up to 8 kills here already as well. So impact on the pistol, continuing that through on these lower buy rounds as well. And they've denied plants in every single one of them so far, the French. So how long can they extend that? Bonus round and a half here due to the lack of casualties. MP9 for Kyojin. Zaiwu still with that Femis. And on towards Yard, we turn our attention again. This time with the smoke wall being deployed. Deep nade onto device, just going to chip him away here to 82. And well, here's the big man himself. Zaiwu about to come up secret and chime in with Apex again to stall this out.
Ooh, and aggressively fighting. Yeah, Plopsky does manage to keep things even.
They will get across, or at least they should.
It's unlikely there's a T-AWP in play so early, especially with device now down and out, caught early. So they can be a bit more aggressive on some of these engagements. Rez has been cut down to size.
Oh, look at Apex.
Yeah, he has taken some risks, and it's been rewarded. Both Shocks and Apex will connect into those Yard aggress, and well, NIP left with very little. What can they count on? So the park line is red. I suspect he'll be the last to take some contact. He might have a little poke out of his hidey hole, but let Hampus work his space.
Lurky boy magic, isn't it, from Hampus?
Bomb spotted Yard.
Yeah, LNZ here just not with a whole lot to do. He draws attention, but Hampus has been spotted now as well, and unless he can hit a banger or 2, this is looking like 4 on the trot here. Apex continues with this impact.
Yeah.
And Kyojin with range from the MP9. He wants to get his hands to that AK, and he will. You couldn't have a cleaner start.
Nothing is going to get him into a better frame of mind than a strong individual start. You know, Apex, he's definitely no stranger to frustrations and for indicating them to us all, but yeah, he's going to be feeling himself after a start like this.
I like that little move he did right there, and it seems chaotic, maybe a little bit sporadic, but if he stayed over towards CT, they know that he's isolated to that position, right? So by dropping the smoke and taking a fight, he's done something outside of the box, and he's put NIP back down to just the pistols here. Now, space appears to be a problem in the gun round. Let's see if they can do what they did on the pistol and those lighter buys. They're able to take it, earn that respect. But played right into Vitality's hands as, again, a different variation of the smoke wall is being lined on up. I just want to get yourself down secret here.
Yeah, they bloom in unison.
So as I was going to be tasked with dealing with that, dropping down the vents silently. As a smoke and a flash to try and delay, and you've just heard that smoke bloom below the feet. I don't think they're going secret though, are they? Towards main, popping top.
Yeah, and Kyojin will take the lobby space away from them. Because they haven't used HUT, he can use HUT, and oh, the silencer. It is starting to get so apparent the difference that rifle is making in terms of the way people die. Like, how often did you, in the M4A4, see T's not looking for the, not looking in the right place for the trade? Like, it never happened. And I've seen it every day. We've casted at least 2 or 3 examples where they just straight up don't have the info.
I think that considering the CT economy on certain maps and having to save and do all that, if the Silent Stem 4 is a little bit buffed, also being cheaper here, maybe it's more than a little bit buffed, right? But regardless, it might mean more retakes, and we definitely saw that yesterday in the G2 versus Ents game. I know it was down to the minutia right there.
And the Copenhagen Flames.
True. They were going for a lot more retakes, so that might change the status quo of Counter-Strike as of late, but Device, mollied away. AWP will not be finding any targets just yet.
Just yet?
Just yet. I'm getting Swedish with it. Yeah, you've been practicing.
Thank you.
It is a nice sounding language, isn't it?
It is.
We don't know what they're saying, but it sounds like they're singing a bit of a song. Now this, I can't get over the start from Apex, right? I'm downplaying it right now because the score's 5-0 and it's map number 1 of the day, but he's owning them. He's currently 13 kills, 5 rounds in. Well, this is the 6th. He's found the opener here. He stalled out the round for the Ninjas. They're stuck in no man's land as they line up some smokes again. He's just repositioned. Apex is living in a dreamland right now. He can do whatever he wants.
Hampus towards the Unbreakable. He's got past the only Bastion on Yard. It is Mr. Mathieu. Oh, and Device gets caught. The swing partnered up nicely. Linus gives NIP a chance, and it will hinge here on Hampus. Is Shox considering this so early?
No.
The answer was no, but Shox, just the reaction shot alone has put them into a very good stead to convert here.
Nice intuition. They're coming through main. Shox will have to deliver some more here. Dropping out some util. They're going to know where that came from. And on the peak, Shox is found by LNZ.
Okay, LNZ with 3. This would be quite the clutch, but he has to get through Apex. 13 frags in
Ace.
5 rounds, and he'll make it a 14th. The ace clutch denied a valiant attempt from the young Swede. 6-0, Chatty B.
Apex right now, 6 rounds in, has 214 ADR. That's 2 kills a round, right? That right there is impact and a half. He is absolutely smashing things. He even has the highest utility damage right now of 83. So this is some vintage Apex right here. Actually, it's not vintage Apex, it's new Apex. It's Apex, the in-game leader, leading the best team in France.
Apex Reborn, that would be the name of the
okay. The franchise movie.
franchise movie.
I'm with you.
And
that one would be in a blockbuster in cinemas.
we'd get the old-fashioned trailer voice, in a world where Apex predators are humbled. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm going for.
Reborn from the darkness.
The burden of leadership weighs heavy on his head.
Kings have fallen, but the Apex rises.
Oh, now I'm... Okay, tickets for 2 tickets, please.
He has 4 opening kills so far.
Any more?
Let's see, because they're coming his way again. It's the pistols one more time.
Okay.
Molly only tickling Hampus here, and well, he's not a fan of getting tickled. Straight down into Zywoo. That's an opener, and the secret scamper is going to be followed on through. But if Apex pushes now, he'll be walking into 3. Apex car crashes in their face again.
Wow, he's done well to get anything out of that. Rez just couldn't believe his eyes.
Through the smoke, he just appeared from nowhere. Well, they have a really good idea right now of where the T's were headed, and they continue towards this lower bomb site. The bomb on the back here of Plopsky. They've got 3 rifles now. A lot to work with.
Shox. Oh, that's well played. He's actually caught one of the intimidating riflers. Rez will not be getting any more done. And Linus has only got the recovered Apex rifle, so no armor on that. 2 fully equipped. LNZ, Plopsky, and Hampus. And Plopsky looking the wrong way. Masuta tested, and he passes with flying colors. A final head to Pluck, and it's Shox to hand out the haircut. 7-0. Vitality in hot pursuit of this one.
Mop and buckets out here. Any of these messes that seem to appear, they're all attending to it quickly. Got a code 4, Nile nuke. We might need to see some pace out of NIP just to get the engine going. I know it's first game of the day. I know that you're in that legend status, but you heard from Device. They still want to win the event. And you know what I want to see? I wouldn't mind seeing Astralis versus NIP. I wouldn't mind seeing Device versus his old team. That might be something fun for us as a final. But if this is the vitality we're getting...
When does this stop, Chad? When do NIP arrive?
Maybe never.
Good golly.
Miss Molly.
She the assistant to 007, Nikolai Deveritz.
Oh, could be.
Agent, licensed to thrill.
License to chill right now. They need something here. Masuda, 2 on his plate. Known to finish his meal.
Nice from Rez. That's exactly what you want to see. Starting strong.
Well, Apex is tucked on in here. He can
just
hide.
in time.
Yeah, and the door's been... people have been flubbing that smoke a lot here at this event.
And that's a contribution from Hampus. They've got so much cash, Chad. I suspect we'll see a little bit more resistance out of them. And two topside. Device's timing is so good. Just as they look away, a clean one out of the ninjas. It's Kyojin just to kick up a bit of a fuss. An AK upgrade's nice. And Shox could catch Rez. Solid for his second. And IP posting their first. Kyojin looking the wrong way. They book a couple of them there, and they're just all over the map. Everyone winning their duels. Rez a big part of that.
I think that's key right there, because the only kill that was possibly tradable was the one from Device, right? The rest of them, it was an individual fight found. So really, really good stuff there from NIP to get themselves on the board here and start the project that is taking this cash money away from the French. Going to have Masuta investing fully. He only has $100 left in his bank balance. Take a look at a couple of the other members. We still have about 3.9 on Kyojin. Shox has 5.6 and Apex with 4.6. So it isn't going to take too long if NIP can string one or two more together here. CTs will have to question their buy, but Apex, well, he's not done with that yard presence. Masuda needs to be careful here again and pep it on up initially. They're walking through, and this time he finds the opener. Oh, this is going to land on his toes.
Has he got smoke? No.
Doesn't. Is it going to spread? Oh, imagine if he just... Dead
man. Dead man. He's just about found a safe corner. Nearly the 100 to 0. Seen a couple of those.
Well, they're going to expect that to be clear, but it doesn't matter. They're heading towards top. Shox, he might get mollied out of position here as well.
Kyojin's got util.
Are they going to molly the CT vent? It's a very common position.
It certainly is, but silent until now. Here comes the strike. Kyojin baits them in. Heads are turned. Starts to strike. It's only the one. Rez again with impact, and Device follows up for his second contribution into the half. Both from Heaven's side. No info. And what is that aggression? Apex charging up, and now up to Masuta to clutch. Device with a three-piece bargain bucket. Grabs it, and the second for the ninjas. Damn.
Big smile on his face there as well. He went from 0 and 7 to having 4 kills in 2 rounds. So now they're online. Now they're starting to look good, NIP. And a close one here. So no saved guns. And that means Vitality will have to scrap this together. I spoke about the finances, how it was starting to look light on. Well, they have been able to drop a couple of rifles across here. We'll buy up into them anyway. We've got a MP9 for Masuta, 3 M4s, and a Deagle for ZywOo. There's no pep in the step of NIP. They're just going with this default spread, looking to find the picks. And there's another. Masuta gone down towards ramp. It seems quite simple right now. Occasionally, they're forcing the fight. This time, the fight coming to them. Remember Apex's start here, so if it was just him online, might need another teammate or two to start shipping on in here with some opening frags. Now, with the number disadvantage, NIP can take their time. They're not in a rush. So much on that clock, still over that 1 minute mark. Bucket loads of utility. And we know that lobby aggression and lobby progressions is something that the CTs cannot afford to take back space, but they're just standing and waiting. Now, top site is where Kyojin resides. Coming on in.
Oh, something in the feed from ZywOo's dig, and Kyojin can get nothing done. The reposition from Shox leads to another, and ZywOo's put another down range as well. Hampus in trouble. Now, he is going to try and plant, but that's going to be rushed down by Apex. Oh la la.
I don't know what that means, but
I'm afraid I do.
He's pretty damn fired up. And both of them are really getting stuck into this, guys. And if you haven't seen much land Counter-Strike, you've only joined us for the online era.
He said, "You're lovely, kind human beings."
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's what he said, yeah.
Handing out compliments today. Oh, that's nice. Spreading positivity.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is a competitive
You're as
venture.
beautiful as a summer's day.
Aww. It's melting my heart.
No, I can't believe he's so sweet and so, articulate as well.
Yeah, while yelling. So that's great stuff from Apex there. But no, this is good to see. This is good to see because if there's fire in the belly, well, there's something on the line for the match, isn't there? Now, we know that NIP have locked in that legend status. For Vitality, we're looking for them to do so. No, those conditions were set by the desk earlier. If we get stuck into them, we'll be here all day. Just know that there's still something to play for here. Leading into the major, what are we, about 17 days away now? So you can almost taste it.
The final countdown.
Device is a bit of a one-man band out towards Yard. Just at his own pace here, allowed to work the AWP, allowed to look for a pick, and well, as we can see, there's currently nobody home. Main will be the first point of contact. And he just scope walked into Yard, straight in towards Warehouse, accelerating now. Hampus finds another onto Apex here, and that seems a little bit too easy.
Look at Device's positioning. Like, I mean, they're good, and they're aware, and they have intuition, but okay, he's flashed off. They'll be looking for him, and he's spotted out now. The element of surprise is gone, and so is the majority of his health, but running out of players, Kyojin's looking the wrong way. Shox has put something. They need to clear him. Can't believe it. Kyojin actually does some damage to Plopsky as well on the descent. It's again Rez that kicks up a fuss, saving the Ninjas in dire straits at times, despite the early man advantage. But there you go, that's 3, and that's 3 in the last 4 rounds of play. So they've at least got themselves on their feet and silencing Apex into this one.
Didn't hear him yelling just there, did you? Now, the money, a real problem here. Next round, we're talking about 1900 loss bonus, so we should be seeing the force spike coming through from Vitality here. Here's the fan cams again. We've been talking about them every day. IEM.gg/fancam if you want to join that. Probably something that won't be lasting for too much longer once we get those arenas back underway. Here we go towards the Yarn position. It's a hodgepodge buy. Pistols at best at MP9 for Shox. They will be slinking down quite easily in towards that secret position with Hampus leading the charge. 3 merry men behind him and LNZ up top of that silo there to cover off any potential flanks. If Apex does go for a maneuver like this, he is going to get his bottom spanked from the top floor.
LNZ, the contingency. Quick descent.
They're here in time.
Yeah, if he smokes the window off, that might buy time. Like, considerable time.
They should respect it, and they're going to hurt him fall off there.
Flying with the wallbang. Crosshair placement. Yeah, Masuta could eat this.
He has a smoke as well here, Masuta. Curious to see if he wants to drop it to deny territory. There's still...
What, window or single?
Well, there's no confirmation that it is lower just yet. That probably aiding. But if he smokes it now, he'll give away his position here.
Yeah, smoke from the CTs did land there, but the bodies are all down and out. Apex was up to no good, but very late on his arrival here, and the entire squad has disappeared. Just looking to catch them on the way out now. See if he can make this one hurt, see if he can chip away at the finances of the Pyjama Ninjas. Were you ever a pajama man, or have you always just been like a boxer?
When I was a kid,
Hobby?
maybe.
Yeah, you had some PJs?
Yeah, I think up until probably the age of like 14.
Yeah?
And
like jammies?
Yeah,
like full booties?
I
Do you have the ones with the socks built in?
No, it's always weird to me having your feet covered when you sleep. I'm from a place where it's really hot.
Yeah, that is odd.
You don't want to have your feet covered.
But apparently, scientifically, there's some sort of benefit.
Okay.
I don't know. I just can't
not for
imagine.
me.
Hot feet.
I don't even do like socks or anything like indoors. I know people have house shoes. That to me seems like I'm always barefoot.
Yeah.
I do have these caveman feet, so that probably...
Do you not have the one issue with bare feet? Maybe it's just because I don't sweep often enough, but every time I've been walking around the house barefoot and I'd look like, you know, I try and just dust off my feet. There's like an assortment of toasty crumbs and bits and bobs.
I think that's a condition of a lot of other things, other than being barefoot.
No, I think it's just a downside of just having bare feet. I think if I had socks on, I wouldn't have crummy feet.
Or you'd have crummy socks.
Yeah, well, crummy socks is an easier to solve problem. I'm not treading toasty crumbs around the place.
What you could consider, I'm looking into one of these at the moment here, as a robot vacuum.
A Roomba?
Yeah, get him out and about, zooming around, picking up those crumbs.
I don't know. I don't want to let Skynet into my house.
It's with us at all times, in our pockets right now. Speaking of crumbs, well, that's what these pistols are.
And if you haven't seen it, huge recommendation for Love, Death and Robots, Zika Blue.
Is that in season 2?
I believe so. It's an episode about a pool cleaning robot.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I recommend that one to a friend. Or an enemy. So all the people that type cringe in Twitch chat, you can watch it too.
I love when words lose their definition.
Yeah, well, like cringe.
Yeah.
People just type cringe when they're cringe, but it's more.
It's something that they don't like, is what they mean. Hold on, this is a 1v1.
It is actually a 1v1.
It's a little bit cringe, isn't it, Alex?
It's so cringe, bro. Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable, and he gets them done. Apex will find his voice once again. Brilliant play, masterful stuff from Apex, and that's up to, what is that, 19-5? We'll check in with the ADR. I think he's kept it up, Chad.
It's like 130, 140
137. Yeah. And they had USPs. That's not for the first time we've seen them succeed in this capacity. And Apex with a CZ75 onto LNZ.
He was the only one who saved anything from that previous force by round. So that right there is massive, right? The rest of them, as you mentioned, were on the USP. So that one's going to be a bit of a punch in the gut right here for NIP. That should have been a conversion. It should have been their 5th. And now, well, they're going to be operating with, well, not a whole lot right here. In terms of rounds, that is. The guns are fine. I think 5 on the half, you know, you're going to be happy with that. This is their map choice, right? NIP opted to take things to nuke, and we have seen this before, where they go for the top execute, and they like to leave a little bit of extra utility. Standard molly, it's seeming everybody wants to throw that one these days towards the back of the site.
Yeah, and as a reaction to that, most CTs find themselves not playing it early. Oh, Kyojin. Not bad at all. Aggressive this time. Now, Shocked, he's been up the rafters often and succeeding often. Oh, spotted out again. Rez saves their hide, albeit only for a moment. Man advantage. Still plenty of time for Hampus to work his magic into a clutch of his own. They're both ready and waiting for you here. Oh, how is he supposed to isolate the Jules as it currently stands? He's not. Zywoo was ready to pull the trigger as well, and the French are looking vicious today, Chad.
I can't believe how fired up Apex is for this game, right? I understand that they can still get this legend status as part of the qualification here, but he's really quite fired up, and he's bringing his team with him, right? So far, if you just want to get a little bit of a recap of the scores on the doors, you have Apex on 19, as Alex was just mentioning, but there's 12 for Shox, 10 for Masuta, 9 for Zywoo, and 8 for Kyojin. On the other side, Rez, he's been a man we've noted with impact, 14 kills for him. 8 for Hampus, 7 apiece for Device and Plopsky, and LNZ down there with 4. But this has been great. I'm loving the fire in the belly.
You got medication for that.
Heartburn, right?
Yeah.
Well, Masuda has been caught out towards ramp a couple of times here. Either when they forced the issue or he's pushed on through. And that smoke, it's starting to fade, so he will rescind. That's a bit more tempered with this. The molly will come down to a timing. Does he wait till he spots something, or does he drop it early? And oh, he's going to get a face full of pistols now.
Well, that's enough of him. Well-placed incendiary will completely nullify the fast descent. I say that as a audible extinguish, and Plopsky already hanging out in hell.
Did they do that themselves? They must have mollied over towards the hell position, so extinguishing and forcing. So question marks now for Masuda.
He's going to be flashed, or at least Linus was considering it. The pause, perhaps for Plopsky.
Kyojin's looking from the site. It's a pretty good fight for Kyojin here, as long as he doesn't look away.
Oh, long range. That's something. Does lose Device in the process, so falling apart a little here, despite the early chances.
Have to go B.
Yeah, and Apex is already tucked in. He's looking for more, Chad.
They know he's around. He's probably got a kill.
He's going to get himself another. Make it 3. That's 22. What a half out of Dan Apex Maddis Claire. 11 already in the bank heading into that T side. Light work. We'll be right back after a short advertisement break.
Hey Future Pros! Back on Nuke today with a nade set to get you down secret. This is a set piece you will see most pro teams run, with some variants here and there. You'll need 3 Future
Apex are going to be treating them to the same treatment. I suspect this could be a quick one. Overpass is next. You can see the veto there in the top right. Overpass chosen by the French. And let's see how far this one can go. Rez has been equipped with the signature new flavor of the month in the form of the dual Berettas. Powerful in that hut position. Zipex giving us a tutorial just a couple of days ago.
Oh, that's a goose right there for Hampus to copy. He has some nades. Might want to get those out of his hands before he falls on down. The beautiful HE.
Yeah, that's such good value out of that. Money well spent.
A lot of damage right here. That softened them up as they head down towards Secret, the lower side of things. Rez, with this little tank, is going to be creeping ever forward. Apex, how many more is he going to get here? 2 angles of assault. Plopsky will get the kill and Apex falls.
I think his heel's just been spotted as well. They don't have numbers, but they spotted Shox. Now the low side completely and totally locked down. Shox struggles to find anything on that. So now a 4 versus 3 into the retake. The doors have swung open and multiple angles of assault. Device coming in late. Well, not so late. Actually, he's been spotted out early. So now the distraction is in place. He's keeping 2 of them busy. And Kyojin, whose job was ramp, he does take Plopsky out. They're so low, so vulnerable, and a clean headshot from Rez.
The kit's on the railing. They might need to grab that.
Oh, Zywoo looking clutchy.
They got the kit.
Yeah, he's so low, though. Surely Zywoo can play this one out. Just a straight bullet, and Hampus is down.
Knows he's off it.
Knows he's off it. Now the bullets. Oh, he's run out of bullets.
Oh,
the ninja Zywoo! Completely ninjaed right in front of him. Just running too light on the ammo.
He tried left, he tried right, he didn't try center. Down the guts was where the defuse came on in, and that low HP, it didn't seem to matter.
Not at all. I mean, you put yourself in Hampus' shoes. You just assume you're dead. With the shots are coming through, it's surely a matter of time. But Hampus, he holds his nerve and holds the defuse.
Probably hold his breath as well right there as his teammates looked on for that. But good stuff, he grabbed the kit.
So
otherwise,
16 bullets. I wanted to see how many he was actually throwing through. And he went through all 16 without finding that low HP on Hampus. Okay, great start. Now we see that French force. A scout exchange.
Tag on tag. Both. Down to 32 points of health here. Plopsky's also taken a little bit of damage in the meantime. Zywoo's been lucky to get an AK-47, and the same for Shox here, who both have head armor, both have a bit of util. Consider with a Galil, this is actually looking like a very decent buy for the French right now. Meanwhile, the Swedes, 2 M4s. Pyjamas for LNZ, and they're already almost out of nades here. Just 1 smoke to their name, 3 flashbangs, and that's a window smoke from Zywoo there. That one's going to go off towards the locker room. So Hampus is not positioned there. That's a main smoke as well. So comboing is I like to call them the aim map smokes towards yard. It just levels the playing field a little bit.
Device actually choosing to stick around, and the pot shot's not far off. LNZ, just the one. Zywoo does take down Masuta in the process. So they knew the scout was ramp. And Shox descending secret for space. Oh, not expecting Device to have stuck around. He strikes and finishes off what he started earlier.
Crazy regress. It means so much. The kill is great, but the info is huge.
Timing is everything from Shox. Looking for Device, strikes. Site is open for business, and it's quite quick actually. Like, it's a safe plant from ramp. Shox is not vulnerable either. And 2 rifles equipped for this retake. No kit in sight. Zywoo on site.
If he tucks in and hides here, that's not bad, because think about how much time they'll have to push on in. Shox might be able to combo with him here, but starting the crawl, Rez and Plopsky from the same position.
Okay, when does Zywoo choose to strike? Because this timing... Oh, if Rez does drop off, okay, no. Should have an advantage. Loud. Zywoo tames the spray nicely. Plopsky closing the gap. He does isolate the first of the duels, but no time for this.
Big problem now.
Sound Q alone has won the round for Shox. Would love to hit one into their head to finish. He does so nicely. 12th is secured. And they do not let up. It looked like NIP about to close the gap, at least by 2 or 3, but this time just that force buy back. Kyojin, the sacrificial lamb, economically dropping the AKs through. And it works out. Not only Shox, but Zywoo both connecting with theirs.
Yeah, Apex also not letting up on the vocal cords there, right? Keeping up the war cries, so might have a sore throat come tomorrow. But this is great now. It puts NIP into a position of decision. Do they want to force back in? And well, the correct answer for most teams in this scenario is yes, because it would be the double eco anyway. We all know how that works out now. You've all got your degrees in Counter-Strike economics. And we have the digs, CZ, Still putting the have funs in the chat. Shocks and Hampus there. Two of the more chatty individuals.
He does it manually.
Shocks, yeah.
I thought it would be because every time it's three HFs. Back to back to back. So he's just
have fun. Yeah. You just see what I typed?
I did. You did it well.
Yeah, we can talk to each other. Oh, we could talk to each other. They can't see what we say there. All right, well, limp, to say the least, is this for Spy. They've done the best they can. The Eagles are the primary choice. The scout for Device back towards Yard. This time won't be having the equal exchange on the scout. Has to scamper on back as Shox is buying a lot of respect here with his teammate Smokes. And there's the tag.
And that's the gap, completely and totally exploited. Rez, good tracking.
There's 3 here at ramp. They're about to walk into the stack.
Suta not having any issues. They may not suspect Plopsky. They do clear him out. Device is going to struggle to find much more impact now on the scout.
2 lower already here.
Yeah, they're moving. They're very mobile, aren't they? They seem to be in all the right places, but not quite the right connections. Zywoo to clear it out, not looking the right way on control, and only just maintains. That should be 13.
It either feels like Vitality, you know, that they got the luck of the gods on their side here. NIP can't catch a break because some of these shots feel like they should be converting right there. Just non-lethal damage, but damage. As Device wanting to scoop up a gun. And looking to give this one a crack right now. 45 points of health, bomb halfway ticked, giving him about 20 seconds left to apply some more financial damage. We'll be ecoing in the next round to play here. And well, while we wait out these next few, I can tell everybody at home that we do have the B stream currently going on as well. We still have matches for the 8th to 5th positions, right? And the reason these games are being played, traditionally we don't do this, but it's an RMR event. All the positions matter, right? It's been mandated from Valve that you need to have, like, I believe it's 1 to 12 need to be worked out. Those slots need to be definitively decided. You can't have a team who goes, yeah, we came 3rd, 4th. No, you either came 3rd or you came 4th, because the point distribution is very important to who ends up at the major, and there's still a couple of spots left wide open. 3 of which. Now, there's 4 teams in contention for those 3 spots. It's Copenhagen Flames, it's Fiend, it's FaZe Clan, and it's the Movistar Riders. Now, Movistar Riders, as you can see on your screen right here, are playing against the Flames on Vertigo, and it's going quite well. 7-5 on the T side here. Winner of that one, I do believe, qualifies for the major.
Yeah, it looks like Dets is having a great game over there. 17 frags from him early into the first half. Rez doesn't miss those, and Shox. His casual stroll cancelled.
Well, they struggled last round, right? Rez hit the shot onto Shox trying to cross into that secret position, and then they quickly made some trades over towards ramp. This time round it is towards top, and wouldn't mind the fight here. Damage done through. Plopsky shouldn't be long for this world. Does get taken out of the equation, but trades are still were looking good. Just USPs. If they had something, right? If they had something a little bit spicier to work with here, they're also going to miss the timing because down the vent, the Frenchman hop. I think fakes and ladders is what I called it the other day.
I played some Snakes and Ladders the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, digitally?
No, me and my mum in the Weatherspoons.
Oh, wow.
Playing some Snakes and Ladders while we waited for our dinner.
Beef pie, I assume.
Gave up. Turns out,
not much
dopamine in that game.
These guns have been picked up, and they're going to test their luck here. Apex and Zywoo posted to seal the deal, and both will get kills in unison there. So we're already looking at 14 rounds, and I think the French maybe saw the schedule yesterday and thought, we don't want that to happen today. Let's kind of knock this one out of the ballpark. Zinger again from Rez here, who we need to say is having a fantastic game individually. Found himself on 20 kills already. He has got 9 kills separating from him from the next highest on his team right now. So Rez, great to see.
Yeah, he's actually matched Apex's multi-kill rounds at an 8-round disadvantage.
That's pretty good. Yeah, he's putting up a fight indeed. Is there any fight left for the Swedes here, though? We will be moving on to Overpass. That's Device with some traction.
That's 2 opening deaths for Shox as well. So advantage Nip, Shadow, Apex, booked.
3 rounds in a row, they've had the number disadvantage now.
Oh, but Masuta has just completely solved the issue. It was a 3v5. And now, if anything, it favors Vitality. Masuta, 2 clicks, 2 heads gone. Rez making no secret of his presence.
They're just ready to swing that door open.
Yeah, on the double flash. They push on in. Nearly a pair, and Zywoo does strike. Plopsky's gone. Hampus from ramp, and Zywoo's actually ready to take that fight as well. Damn, Zywoo, what a recovery from Vitality. Masuta gets an extra firm high five for that one.
Oh, when things are going well, I'd love to have Apex as my El Capitan. He'd be getting me excited. I'd go to war for this man right here.
Wow. I mean, they were doubled up on ramp. You can see they definitely got caught out. Like, the fact Device has got his knife out directly behind his teammate who's desperately trying to take the fight. And then Zywoo finishing it with style, just actively taking that fight. They knew he was coming.
I like that timing there, right? Swing the door open. It's a 180 for the CTs, having to worry about both positions. And, well, Zywoo profits, and this might very well be the last round of play.
I thought we were about to see a gap closer. And it seems it's Kyojin just wants to close this one out, as does Masuta. NIP with nothing to show here on Nuke. And it's their pick, Chad. Vitality just one of those teams at the moment where if they're you catch them on a good day. We've cast that Mirage game in particular up against Complexity in the groups, where it just felt like they didn't even get a chance to play the game.
Yeah, if this Vitality goes deep in the major and like Kyojin comes online and Masuta's able to have this star form, and the recruiting over there, Xtaz and the entire Vitality camp, right, they need to get so much credit because the roster changes they've had, the names that they've brought in, and being able to time this, right? Everybody questioned whether taking Apex out of the roster was the right decision. Well, it's looking pretty good right now. Hampus, he gets a kill, but they know exactly where he is. The Molly's going to burn his toes. He has to fight, dies in the flames, and it's a 2v3 situation with a Famas and a Deagle.
Ooh, Device, look how aggressive he is being and profits. Masuta to hunt so close to another there, and LNZ deleted. Wow, only 21 rounds required. And NIP hang their heads as they lose their map and lose it swiftly. We'll be breaking that one down. I can't believe it's already over. We'll take a quick one. Be back with the analyst desk, back with Overpass to see if this
Dad's going to be so happy. We're getting your
golden
favorite meal
sticker
for dinner, son.
Oh, and there's Linus again. Speak of the devil, and he will frag. That's two more.
Oh, the Tech 9 upgrade. Get him, Linus. Get him out of here.
I was not really expecting anything. I was just kind of playing, honestly. I didn't think anything at all about like how I will perform or should perform or anything. I was just focusing on doing my role and my job.
YNK and Tony Hawk's friend Dinko.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, man. But when you look at this matchup, and this was a skate to victory very quickly coming in for Vitality. Strong start, just picking up so many rounds in a row on that CT side. Device, a player we talked about, need to show up. He's been so good in this competition so far with 0-7. You know, a very, very quiet start on that T side. They just struggled to get into the site, put the bomb down. And it was just great, simple setups. Good, effective team will play out of Vitality. And when you have a game like this, there's nothing special to it. It's just Vitality looked far more individually speaking better, and also just the team play was perfect.
Yeah, they just did a great job early on in the half at getting information outside. Even if it was a 1v1 trade with Zywo getting a kill and then dying, he could still see more players that allows the rest of Vitality to react, and they were just shutting down NIP early on. After that, NIP wins a couple of rounds based off of just some good entry kills, really, but I think that Apex sees that 1v3 clutch that really sealed the deal for Vitality in that first half.
26 frags for him, 121 ADR. The guy was here, Dinko.
Yeah, Apex is playing so well. He's also so hype-focused in the game. And the thing we always talk about with Counter-Strike, there was very limited leadership figures. And I think Apex is someone that just commands respect inside of his team. You could just see with his comms how vocal he is. He just commands the respect of his players, and now he's stepping up on the board as well.
Yeah, and there's probably something to say about the mentality there on Vitality. Funny how that worked out. Let's hear about it.
Come on in, guys. Let's do it. Let's go. Okay. So, boring general questions first. I saw, because I was casting that game, we had you know, singing along, doing dances, the Macarena, yeah. My question is, was that deliberate, right? You were trying to just keep the energy high, keep everyone just playing their own game. What was the reason you guys were just having a lot of fun?
Trying to chill, I mean.
Stay normal, stay relaxed. For us, of course, it's funny, but for everyone, when you are playing a stressful match or whatever, it can help during a game. It's not because it's an important match on an important day that you're gonna be someone else. So we dance. This feeling, definitely, I missed it, and it's fucking stressful, but it's fucking good, bro. We qualified for the major. We are through the playoff, so that was what we wanted to. So the first step is done. The second is
Legend.
yes.
You do love to see a happy Apex. I think a happy Apex is a happy Vitality, a happy screams across the room and there in the studio. This team, they're feeling good, Yanko.
Yeah, absolutely. When they're playing well, right, you're feeling good and just trying to relieve some of the stress, really, and not think about it too much. You know, different teams, different players have different mechanisms. For them, it's a little bit of dancing involved. But, yeah, it's just solid. Everything Vitality is doing right now seems to be going their way.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no denying that, especially given the results of the first map. 16-5 just begs and screams for NIP to show up in the series, Dinko.
Yeah, it's getting a little rough, and I think with that first showing, I was expecting a better showing out of NIP on map 1. I think coming into Overpass, we're going to see much more of that aggression on CT side, I think, coming out of Vitality, which will be very exciting to see. Zai was playing well, but I want to see if everybody can step up over for the NIP side. It's not just one player needs to deliver. Rez is the only player doing anything. We need Device, we need Hampus. They weren't getting away with the usual things they were doing.
Yeah, the Air Force aim high head-to-head will give us just that. Now, if we can get Apex doing that again on Overpass, they're in big trouble.
Well, the reason why Apex was able to do this as well is he is now playing that yard position that we've said. That's the star player position, really. And Apex doesn't get, too many of these star roles. There's just other players who take up that sort of space. But it seems like Vitality in some of the switching around that they've decided that, maybe he's best utilized. Maybe they felt, I think it was Misuta who was playing it recently, or Shox, I can't quite recall. But Apex probably a little bit more dynamic in that position, maybe even a little bit more aggressive at time. Maybe Vitality felt that was what they were missing on their CT side. So this game, it worked out great, but we'll see moving forward if we can see more of these performances from Apex.
Really quickly, Dinko, pending the outcome of this next map, we could have our first grand finalist in Vitality. What are the odds of that going down like that?
I think it's pretty likely. I think coming into this event, we said Vitality should be heading to the grand final. I think that the team, a lot of us have predicted to win this event. I think if you look at the other side of the bracket, Vitality should beat whoever's on the other side of it. And with that performance out of NIP, I thought it was going to be a much more difficult battle. But that first map has inspired me with a lot of confidence of Vitality.
I think this has shown us as well. NIP very good on Nuke, but never really picked it themselves,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
And I think this is why I think they have a lot of faith in their CT side, but just starting off as T, maybe not as deep of a playbook as they would like, or as on some of the other maps. And now they're, in a very difficult situation coming into Overpass.
Yeah, and situations being that they lost it pretty handily there on Nuke. They're going to get a shot at redemption from the Ninja side over on Overpass. However, does get a little tricky. It's Vitality's pick, and they're up in this series 1-0. This semifinal's looking good for the French side, and we're going to find out more when we come back.
Choose nades, choose a smoke, choose a flashbang. Choose team badges to support your favourite CSGO team. Choose an ESEA Premium membership. Choose routes you know bring in wins. Choose pro video tips. Choose the fan club wars. Choose behind the scenes content. Choose good grades. Choose guns you know you can shoot right. Choose bingo. Choose the equipment you know is going to get your team the win thanks to heat maps. Choose the CSGO Hub Premium. The complete package to help you and your squad achieve all your CSGO goals.
So what was it like from your perspective as being a new in-game leader, bringing in a new face? What were the biggest things that you took away from that experience?
I think for him, the hardest was he's a pretty shy person. So what we wanted from him is to say what he was feeling, what was bad for him in the game. As you might know, I'm not really cool all the time, and it's true, I know it. But if it tells me that it's too much, I will just tell him, yeah, I'm sorry, etc. So it could be a better relationship between together. And that's what we lacked, I think, at the beginning. You cannot bring a rookie and teach him everything. Like, he needs to get a role, a specific role, and you need to teach all the things regarding that, but nothing else. Because if you try to go on overall thing, like all the experienced player like Shox and me, no, it's really hard. It's too much. He has his role. He's doing it perfectly now, and now he's getting like better because his brain is ready to go on all through all the things. And I think that's the best process we found with Kevin, and that's what we're doing also with now with Jason. But they both really shy, so it was the same process also with that sense that none of them was talking. Like, he never complains. You need to say what you're feeling, what's wrong, etc. And since that, it's getting better.
So for you, Masuta, right, when you came into the team, and you got Apex there and Zywo there and all these big names, right, were you intimidated at all?
I mean, maybe the first days. Yeah, maybe the first day I was like I always wanted to be here, and I'm here now. So it was maybe intimidated the first days, but then I just tell myself, like, I have to do my job now.
Okay, well now, right, if we look at you now, I remember there was like an Astralis game last year on Dust 2 at some point. That's when, like, I went, oh shit.
DreamHack Openfall.
That could have been the one. Do you feel that there was like a turning point for you inside? Like, did you feel like a switch?
at all?
I feel like a switch personally in the game, and most of the time now I say what I want. So, and Apex sometimes say me, no, we can't do that now. But sometimes he said, okay, do it. Maybe it's not the good thing, maybe it's not the right thing, but at least he gave me the chance to do it. Maybe I'm gonna fail, maybe not. But at least I have the confidence of my captain and everything is good when the captain is following you.
Nice. Got the faith.
I'm playing with Kevin in duo on certain maps, and I feel now I really understood how to use him. Like like for example on Inferno, I think in City Side is really, really good. And I felt like we tried before having this duo on B-bomb side, and it didn't work at all. And now with more confidence, with more understanding of each other, mainly me towards him, yeah, it's way better. I think this B-bomb side is like locked, so it's nice.
Semi-finals continue, heading into the pick of the Ninjas, and it was a quick one. Open and shut, no issues for Vitality, and a big part of that being Apex. Tedesca's covered that and set the scene so we can get ready to see if we get a competitive second map. I say we. My name's Machine. His name is Chad Sponge Burchill. Chadney for short. How you doing?
I'm all right. We're settling into the day. And yeah, this is an interesting one here going into Overpass. Now, Alex, this is what I wanted to show you here.
What are you trying to show me?
I get on time, but I was just trying to remember. Back in 2018 and 2019, there was an event run. It was like an academy. Well, it was an academy-style event. It was a chance to give individuals from
Call it a
around the
show
world-
match?
Yeah, and you'd have captains from different regions, and those captains, they would pick players, right? There'd be tryouts, and it was called Join the Republic. And it was something that I participated in. I was actually a captain one year, and another year I did some commentary with Henry. But there was a matchup that took place. This was back on the 5th of January in 2019. The captain of the Polish side was Isaac. Now, you know Isaac, he does some streaming. He plays with Pasha on their streams and stuff at home. In their team was Hades, who is now in ENT, going up against the French team, who was captained by Hunyanye, who is Jeff. He is
I'm impressed you went for that.
Well, he lives in Malta with us. He's just up the road. But he was the French captain. And he in his team had Masuta. And those two teams back in 2019 went toe-to-toe. Masuda on this French team that had been pulled, like just these young names, right? These kids who, one of the criteria was they weren't professional players, right? And get picked in these teams and got an opportunity to play within this event. And it was Hades versus Masuta back in the day. Now, Alex, if Vitality win today and ENT win today, Hades and Masuta will play each other in a match.
Yeah.
The Tier 1 teams. Both qualified for the major.
Both have qualified for the major. The real question I have is, Masuta had 29 frags, but Hunyanye had 28.
Yeah.
Where's his major spot?
Oh, you know, Jeff, he just likes to make YouTube videos about how he can get to Global Elite with only a deagle.
He does do that.
That's the type of content he's after. He's not worried about any of this stressful professional stuff.
Whenever I've played games with him, he's one of those players just so frustratingly, like, just talented. He keeps doing silly things and looking like he's not trying and wins.
There's a couple of them out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Natty gamers, we like to call them. But as you can see, guys, we just need to get all the players in the server before this one can get underway. And, well, the first map, if you tuned in, you thought, I'm going to join the series, but, you know, I had to take the dog for a walk, I was doing some dishes. Well, you probably missed map number 1. If you're an NIP fan, maybe a good thing. They got blown out of the server. It wasn't even close. Whereas the French, they've shown up in buckets and spades here. Apex looking fan-bloody-tabulous. Everybody's in. Dot readies are being typed. And this one should not be too far away from kicking off here for map number 2. If you do want to hang around and join us for the second series of the day on the main stream, that's going to be Astralis taking on ENT. Snappy versus the dastardly Danes of Astralis. But here we go.
I love me some Overpass, Chad. Absolutely fiending for it. And we do have the side start, CT side start for the Swedes. Now, we watched NIP and their Overpass with an incredible comeback, actually. We got to see Rez start slow and end up managing to claw back a huge one. Was it against Fiend?
Skade.
Skade.
That was Dennis Law,
That's it.
Rainwaker, some of those names.
Oh, Rainwaker had a huge one. Yeah, I remember. But NIP crushed their hopes and dreams.
Yeah, they did.
And so, let's see how Vitality fare. Starting on the T side, we've got 4 Kevlar vest shocks with the full belt of nades.
Happens with a full lot of utility. Information. They're not utility.
Trying to make it look like an all-in B. Masuta short challenging, shocks his nades over the house, and well, still some pressure. ZywOo draws first blood. And Masuta quick onto Plopsky as well.
In for the Rambo sequel.
Yeah, and here they are back with a vengeance. NIP putting some in the feed, but it's insufficient. Device doesn't even get to pull the trigger, barely gets his gun out. And that is spectacular. No better start for Vitality, faking out NIP and just hitting every single shot they take.
Yeah, well, they're picking up where they left off, right? The individual's looking sharp.
I just saw a little bit of all of us there. As you know, you've had a bad first map. You've lost the pistol in the second. That's when you start adjusting the mouse pad. You know, actually, the chair's actually a bit. Just need to get the height right.
You and I got to do those little look-ins with the players, right? You did ZywOo. I actually was with Device. Now, we didn't get to go too deep, but I'm always was interested with their positions. He's like, yeah, my stuff's not too particular. You know, just whack it down. Just throw it down. Twist was a little bit more particular out of the mob, but yeah, there's the adjustment and Device onto the headshot. So the Scout Master of Apex has been destroyed here. Now, Hampus is going to go for what looks like the jumping MP9. Now, the jumping accuracy on this is very good, everybody. So what he will wait and do is listen for them to get up close, and he can jump and spam away with that. Another scout tag. Device looking good here with a lot of damage. Rez on the push as well. It's going to lock the door behind the French. Big problems now.
Looks like Device is set for some more. Especially if the low HP of Masuta is the first in, which with the MAC-10 is implied.
Timing.
Rez. Oh, no. ZywOo actually checks. And so the trigger discipline does haunt him.
That's crazy that Vitality didn't stick to their guns, right? It looked like they were poised and prepared to go towards A, but they've managed to get the troops back towards this B site. Hampus on the second flank.
Yeah, but they may not expect that there's still two parked in the toilets after being spotted returning to spawn, especially if contact's found towards Monster. Bullets, steps, anything heard. Hampus will start to rotate in.
Timing.
Oh, he heard it. Oh, he's behind them both. Masuta doesn't even turn around, doesn't even address it. And now Linus catching another from behind. It's all onto ZywOo. Oh, and he's ready for war. Tags by the Scout. Oh, executes Device. Yet to die, 10 HP. Hampus quick to this, loud about it. And ZywOo looking for the ace clutch. Surely not, surely not. Takes a pot shot, does have a flash to play with, and on the reposition, dancing around the util. Hampus looking the wrong way. ZywOo could go round the world. It's not a heaven plant. In the smoke. Looking to strike. Oh, so close. Yet so far, Hampus for the defuse. Just enough time on that clock. ZywOo, such a threat.
Cheeky as well. Going for the one tap on that shorter grass up sandbag. Absolutely destroyed. Device up towards heaven, and we'll get that defuse in time.
Dude, I saw Nico in the elevator the other day, just last night. And I was like, oh, those one taps were looking spicy, mate. And all he had to say was, yeah, well, a couple of years ago, I'd have got some more.
Come on, mate.
I know. A couple of years ago, I'd have got all five. A couple of years ago, I'd have got all five.
Come on, mate. Dearie me. All right, well, some resistance out of NIP here. I wouldn't be too frustrated with that one, all things considered. They can get the force buy back. The plant is a consolation, all things considered. 2 AKs, a scout again of their own, and some pistols upgraded in as Device thrust forward up towards the party position, peering over a smoke that they've lobbed on down, chiming in with Hampus, and there he is, Device. Pepper's ahead.
Good for the scalp.
It is.
Oof. And that's ZywOo. Handed his first or rather second death. Masuta, however, he's good for both. Both of those trades, every contact NIP find, there's a quick Masuta trade found. Now, here comes Shox looking for action. Is he holding anything actively? Yeah, he did catch a little leg. Oh, and Linus, he's been spotted. Could be
tumbling now.
Certainly. I mean, a distinct advantage for the Ninjas in some capacity, and that's that Rez is not only equipped with the AK-47, he is also full health.
The time is the biggest issue right now. And not for Vitality, more for the Swedes, because Vitality can work around the map as a group. They can hit a bomb site together. They don't have any utility, but considering how good Masuta's trades have been, I feel like as soon as they note the position of Plopsky and Rez, that he might be good for an AK kill or two. So Rez with the AK towards A, that's at least something to work with.
Oh. spots them out. He's juking it out with Masuta. Damage exchange, well-managed angles. He can fall out. And the site
Bomb's loose.
will not be
there might not be
picked
any
up.
time. They have to run back and get it.
I'm not sure Shox has even got this speed on that. Yeah, and especially because the site is now lost. Shox is going to give it his all. Yeah, he's got just... Fate. Not interested in getting that bomb down, and some extra cash for the squad. Expecting him perhaps to have 2 men running him down, but there you have it.
That's a little bit frustrating as well, right? Because Masuda was the one with the most HP for the team, and this was some great trading from him. Shox did well here onto LNZ as well, but this was the kill from Rez, right? It looks scrappy, but he converted regardless, and the difference maker was that. Easy as you like. Mopped on up.
Oh, that was not helpful.
What were you looking for?
Synonyms for trade. I don't think we can say gets the commerce.
Gets the commerce. 1 for 1.
Gets the barter. Gets the truck. What are we talking about now? Google's really let me down.
Well, maybe the thing are things that we can actually trade. Player for player.
Mm.
We're going to have to brainstorm a few things.
Yeah, get your suggestions in, because there is nothing quite as of an articulate summary of exactly what's gone down than the word trade. Ooh, Rez, lovely, just to make sure nothing spirals here.
Yeah, I was looking today. I was having a little bit of a read while I was in the lobby, because I can only say save so many times. So there's a couple I was jotting down. Preserve, retain, carry across, hold on to, protect.
Why are you burning through your whole arsenal now?
Well, I'm just letting everybody know this is what they can expect.
Yeah, protect.
Maintain.
Maintain's a good one.
And then this last one's a bit of a reach, but I put bottle up. Now, I don't know how we're going to use that yet.
Have to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to use it yet, but it's written down.
Okay.
So I took some notes today. The AKs are out now, and let's
trade and equalize.
Equalize, that works.
One.
Yep. Extinguish. Nade. No damage.
Look how active he's ready to take this fight. Device overcommits there, and Kyojin will catch him just through that smoke. And it's interesting that Vitality seem to want to return to B after drawing blood. I guess they suspect that that will force a rotate, and they're absolutely bang on the money. They leave Zywoo up to his own devices to try and sell this. His presence alone can be threatening, and LNZ looking for info in his own. Massive jump. What a snap out of Zywoo. He falls, but it's again LNZ kicking up a fuss on the monster pipe. Plopsky in support, and they fall. What a recovery from the Ninjas, and they've got LNZ to thank. Do you remember the last time we were talking about that skate game? LNZ was a big reason they clawed that back on the CT side.
He was massive, right? He had that impact on that force by round where he had multiple deagle kills and even a knife kill, I think, to get them across the line in that. But in the first map, one of the things that we noted was Vitality may have lost the opening duel or two, but then they were able to bounce back in with multiple exchanges. And this time round, well, they get the opening kills, 2 of which, and then they lose. They fall a little bit flat into the trap. Getting a little bit stuck on in now as the scoreline does read 4-1. The pistol's out again, and they'd be loving to get the bomb down a little bit more. It was just that Zywoo scenario where it looked somewhat threatening. Nade whistles by the ear of Shox. Only light damage done to him. Zywoo elsewhere has comped a bit himself down to 66, but this is just a slower crawl, and Apex hitting a banger.
Yeah.
It's only his first kill, but you missed map number 1. He was on a heater.
Yeah, they might build on that. There is a timing window where they can take space towards Optimus, and yeah, the incendiary lands. It's enough of an indicator that they'll have to slow their roll. Yeah, Zywoo could be equipped with that and has been. He's already done well, considering the rounds Vitality have posted. And there goes the bomb. Oh, Masuta strafing right in. A bit of a mismanaged spray from Rez, and he's doing everything he can to try and escape unscathed. Masuta's Deeg is there, but Zywoo should clear this. Nice find. Okay, maybe there's still a threat to be found. Some players would have scarpered straight to spawn, thrown the AWP out of the map. He's not doing any of that.
Look like he was considering it there for a second. If he runs all the way back towards B, he might beat them on the timing, because they have to go down connector, open the door, and then look on through that pipe towards that B side of things if they wanted to stop him.
But they haven't cleared long, so he's going to have a real nice window where he can just walk into that site and plant. It's a question of when they get the read. Linus is just cleared now. Plopsky confirms he's not on site, so there's that window has closed. And sometimes you have to close a door to open a window.
Let that breeze on in. The bomb is going to get planted here, and Zywoo, they know where you are now. Running on over, both coming in through spawn. The AWP is the weapon for the job. He is low on HP. He can win this 1-on-3.
Second time's the charm, perhaps, Chad. Got close in the previous, down to a 10 HP 1-on-1. ZywOo, he warms up with officials, and now definitely starting to heat up in the clutch. Ready for first engagement, looking to engage. Strikes, Linus down, time ticking. Plopsky has a kit and pros don't fake. He's called it, that's twice the bomb. Best ZywOo. It was the only real way to isolate that duel. Plopsky just calls his bluff.
Sitting the defuse against ZywOo of all people. You gotta have some balls to do that, don't you? Well, maybe thinking he's gonna get a little bit tricky in it, and they will call a timeout here. Now that AWP retained, not too shabby. Plenty of cash to splash now because the loss bonus maxed on out, so we will be seeing everything Xtaz wants and more here as he gives the marching orders from that backline, pacing left and right. 30 seconds will transpire, and let's see if the game plan changes here. You can see a couple of smoke grenades being left in spawn. Now, one of the reasons for that, maybe you're not too familiar with Overpass. You can actually smoke from the spawn position towards Monster, give your B players a bit of a buffer, help them on out, make sure they don't get run on down. And if you leave a couple in that spawn position, your A defenders can keep it smoked for you while you can keep your guns out. You know, you don't have to worry about doing it yourself.
You know, I can't believe we didn't say it, or maybe you did when someone was asking us during that fill segment for Overpass nade tips. The Monster one.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this.
Yeah,
that's one of the most important.
Yeah, okay, good, yeah.
So
super important, and this is going to be a boosted ZywOo.
I don't think anyone's coming through heaven here. Maybe they get them on the sandbag jump up, but train's coming. Tickets being punched, and away we go. So that one you can't keep up forever. Just having a look for the first 15 or so seconds of the round now, and because of that, this default gets a little bit slower, right? There could be CT aggression. They didn't have any presence across the map to deal with this, to make sure that they're very diligent about their clears. And Rez, well, he's pushed up long with this silent stem 4. It is a cheeky position.
Yeah, and he's good for this. He was prior. Will they treat it differently? A run-boosted AWP is a pretty damn good way to treat it, and he's tracked them. Good shot out of Kyojin. Hampers has to pull the plug on that defense, tucking in. Device on the rotate, as is LNZ. Wow, that's a heavy rotation, and Plopsky aggressive, so he will have info early. If he loses his life, which he has, so much space, and now those CTs, they might just gamble. It could be the right call. Info spotted, Hampers' aggression. I don't know if he caught a glimpse, but Kyojin did, and they swing out as a unit. Hot pursuit of their second round now, Chad, and running out of players. Device aggressing in the toilets.
Head-on collision still. NIP, they know this is coming right now. They have everybody left to defend here, and they even have a lot of utility, so the fact that they're still coming, this can fall apart for Vitality. Oh, maybe not anymore. It's just one man. The youngster, 20 seconds, a full belt of utility. How much can he do here?
If he could somehow delay, and that will at least buy some time. ZywOo's quick to draw. And Vitality post their second here on the T side. It's early doors, voicing their concerns quickly, but NIP a string of 5 consecutive rounds now. A return from the French.
You have to consider as well how close some of these rounds have been. Obviously, we had the almost ZywOo clutches. It's a round as well where only 2 players from NIP did survive. So even though the Swedes are doing well, they have 5 rounds, they don't have a whole lot of money here, and that is going to be immediately reflected into the buy. Oh, was a little bit of a technical timeout, but should be sorted in a moment. Don't you worry, this one looks like a quick one. Deagles for LNZ, one for Hampus. Plopsky into a FAMAS. Device gets his big green gun. And the have funs have been typed in chat once more. Rez also into a Deagle here, and you've seen him hit some scorches already. So this is not the easiest round for Vitality to get through, right? So some of the things, if you come into the AWP first and you didn't note there were pistols, maybe you get like a little bit ahead of yourself in other clears, and then you run into the Deagles and you weren't expecting that. You were thinking it was going to be rifles. So they need to still be careful about this. Could solve the puzzle here with a quick B. Device's AWP. Posted up short.
Oh, and burnt into a tighter line. Doesn't stop. Apex strikes into the biggest gun in the server. There's more on the site, and those Deags are threatening. Oh, it could have been saved by Kyojin. NIP was so close to really locking this one down. First, Masuta bailing him out. Now it's Kyojin that steps up and delivers. Rez from Graffiti, the timing on the flash is fine. Completely swallows that, buying some time. Campus caught out on the walkout.
So much impact from
what a
Kyogen
round.
there.
What a round.
4 for him.
Doubles his score, Chad.
That's massive, right? What that
Impactful
does,
one.
What it does right there is just shatter the economy of NIP right here. So Kyogen, when that did get dicey, right? The 2 that he gets initially, that's everything, right? The round didn't look winnable after that point, but still, him to continue with more impact, you're going to see them here. Getting that transfer across. Low HP on this, so good from the youngster. Well, he's not even the youngest member in the team, but he is the youngest in terms of experience here. Will just be the USPs now, and Vitality, unless they make a massive mistake here, should be 1 round the difference. IP will retain this lead, but when they get the guns back out in the next, they will only be having that 2400. So we'll keep our eyes on what type of buy they're going for as they all push long.
Keep your eyes on Kyogen, because he could go from 4 frags coming into the previous round to a boatload more. His responsibility was to hold this fountain and long aggression, so he will have a look. He's going to spot a whole lot.
He's seen enough, I think. Info darting back to Apex, the leader. Wanting to help on out here. They just have to stop this push. So the Molly will slow them down for another 7 seconds. Able to now watch onto the flanks here, and the USPs for Exit. Here he is, the big man, the boss man.
Yeah, he's got out his abacus and he said, I'm going to go hunting. There's 600. Let's get the 6 times table rolling. Ooh, well.
That's it. That's all he gets.
And that'll do nicely.
Easy maths on that one right there. So yeah, 1 round the difference now. And Device, he could get dropped in AWP, but that means that Linus would not have had anything. So it is going to be M4s to the good for 4. Plopsky to a Famus, and Apex is going to retain that MAC 10. But now, you consider the fact that it's been 3 rounds on the trot, and Vitality were keeping those rounds close. They have a lot of money left over. A lot of residual cash. Zaiwu, remember the saved AWP? Well, right now he has 13k to his name. 10 for Masuda as well. So Vitality are looking very good, and they're going to mantle on up and get the 4-man totem boost running one more time. Zaiwu not sticking the landing right there. The judges not too happy with that gymnastics performance. Won't be joining the French Olympic team in, what will it be? 2024?
Yeah. I don't think I watched a single...
Me either.
Single round of the Olympics.
Sports isn't for me.
No. On your head. Oh, Plopsky dead. In the meantime, though, Vitality with 2 casualties. It's Rez that's completely silenced the playground aggression.
No fun to be had.
No fun allowed. Rez cancels playtime.
No hat, no play. That's what we used to have back in the day.
Interesting that he stuck around. Like, they might assume that he's relocated. Is his next
I think
victim.
he did assume exactly that.
He did, and nearly another. Should be round defining, though, from Rez. You'd need something miraculous out of Shox and Kyogen, a limp for Kyogen as well at 46. And LNZ's getting a bit flirtatious with this aggression. You'll hear them.
So just on the jiggle, though, it's actually quite passive, and oh, he's run away. So maybe he didn't get this info. Footsteps now, he's heard all that. Rotations here, they should be locked out. Barrels is the first to clear.
Yeah, it would have to be a stunning headshot. And he's found one of his own. Flank is very quick. Shox, he's smart, but he won't be ready for all of this. He's already got his attention drawn to short. Does manage to put himself at least a bit of distance between that monster fight. Back turned. LNZ defends. Rez, though, again, steps up for the Ninjas when they need him most. They post one in the first we've seen from the Swedes in 4. You can see how he takes them both down. Zaiwu doesn't even get to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Apex just noisy about that, right? They did trade him, but at that point it was too far down that rabbit hole. You know, Kyogen, his name reminds me of those creatures in Godzilla. I think they're like the big monsters, kaijus or something like that.
Bionicles.
Bionicles. I think that's a Lego product, actually.
Oh, I thought, okay. I think I had the Bionicle.
The Bionicles
game
in Godzilla.
I had the game.
What a crossover that would be.
Yeah.
I think that's called Pacific Rim, actually.
Oh yeah, actually that exists.
Bionicles meets Godzilla.
I remember we tried to watch that in our basement.
It was miserable.
Just didn't engage focus.
Do enjoy big robots, though. I'm a robot fan.
Yeah, Transformers. Megan Fox, Sheila Buff.
No, that one doesn't for whatever reason. I think it's because the robot's talking now. I like it when the humans are controlling the robots.
I wonder what that says about you.
I don't know. Someone let me know. extinguish. Stampeding. Device. Knows that there could be a lot on the other side here, and we'll have to start to dance on backwards. That S key being pressed as he will make his way into the bathrooms. Has Rez to connect the dots from connector. There's a monster smoke for everybody at home. And they know that Shox on this default likes to play over towards that water position, and Rez, he was just clearing over there. That is so quick.
Yeah, he's done well to find something out of that.
Well, now it's Device's turn.
They're catching some great timings. Zai was not looking. And shot in the spine. The trade is absent. He can get out of there. They're ahead of it. Oh, and Device will take nearly 3. Kyojin just wins the war of attrition, at least with his bullets. He had enough. Device did not.
And this is where it becomes a problem again here, right? It's 2 players alive against the 3. Even if they walk into a bomb site, they would have to get that opening kill. Hampus has just combed on through the bathrooms here and called this almost completely clear. The bomb, well, it's disappeared. They might have a good idea that they are heading back towards this B bomb site. Roughly 35 seconds remaining on the clock here as the combo of Plopsky and LNZ batten down the hatches. The util comes on over, and Hampus's flank here to make sure there's no way out.
Implying there could still be Barrel's presence. Shock's going to use that smoke. He could actually just hop into it and catch Plopsky in the off angle, but down goes his teammate, down goes the bomb, and the clock keeps ticking. No time for this Shox. Crosshair was in the right place, but so is LNZ. This is what NIP were looking for. Starting to pull away now.
I think the fortunate thing for Vitality here is even in lieu of the plants, they still have a lot of that cash I was talking about earlier, and as they lose rounds, their loss bonus also builds, so it's keeping them in this position where they're able to keep themselves just level. Ready for another purchase, but another timeout necessary here. And the last time Xtaz called one, they were able to convert off the back of that.
Is that a souvenir knight he's rocking as well? How do I find that out? Who did he drop it to?
We get away. Either it must be in Hampus's hands.
Must be.
That's the only player that has a Silence Them 4 equipped into this round here.
Because that's from the Cobble case that had the Dragon Lore in it.
Oh.
So
won't be getting those for a while.
Yeah. I think I had one of them.
I wonder, the souvenirs. I completely forgot about those. That's a whole thing as well.
Oh, that will be a thing.
Yeah, well, that doesn't look like the Knight, does it? That was that M4 you don't really like right there, so.
Oh, I don't know where it's gone. I
It's
probably left it for an AK, perhaps. Let's get into it, though, because it is a wheelie big round.
A wheelie bin?
Wheelie big.
Oh.
It was an ode to the wheelie big cheese. Very prominent robot in the Robot Wars with Craig Charles.
Oh, indeed. Well, Zai was aggressive. Didn't catch it on the jump spot, but he catches those bullets. Hampus, easy as you like. Shoots 5, gets 1, and into B they trundle.
Oh, this is fast. LNZ evades the initial spray. Plopsky surely strikes, and they do. 3 in the feed from the ninjas, and only Kyojin. What's he supposed to do? Die is the answer.
Okay.
Right, with a furrowed brow, wants to see this with a finishing blow. If they were to find the remaining rounds in this half, it's going to be a real uphill struggle for Vitality to dig their teeth into.
Yeah, it's not looking easy here, right? They're getting denied. I think some of the interesting properties that have happened in the last few rounds is not finding any traction on these opening kills. Seems to be a difficult place to be. Rez, 2 rounds in a row, has been able to grab some openings there. So he's a stifling force so far. Take a look at his opening kills. He's 2 for 2, but Device is 3 for 3. So the 2A defenders are, they're doing all right in that department. Hampus chipped on down through the smoke. Needs to be careful how they play behind that. Apex wary of any aggressive maneuvers through there, but needs to be. So with Plopsky, flash through short. Shox aware that somebody could be coming his way any second. They aren't going to push the issue. It was purely just for info. And they likely know that Shox is tucked into this position, right? He defaults over towards this B-bomb site on a regular basis. The only way that would not be considered is if Apex is feigning his job right now, just with the spam, the jumps, the util as well, and he's going to scoop up that bomb. And they've given a bit more time in round 13 before they get stuck into the A default. But this is going to be more pressure on the late rounds, right? They will have to make up their minds. Now pivoting again, back towards B. Or back towards connector. All right.
Some mid-rounding going on here.
Yeah, the thing is, if they do this, it's probably going to be connected to B. It feels unlikely to go connected to A. If it was pistols, you see teams do that when they have Tech 9s and stuff, but This feels like it will have to be a B exit from the sewer position. So grouping up with Shocks now, everybody turns their attention towards the B bomb site. Hampus is here with Plopsky and LNZ.
These guys have been solid. Can they hold again? Good timing on the incendiary. Look at the flak damage. HE's incendiaries and LNZ. He's been found.
Rumbled.
For the first time. They're into B with consistency. Oh, what? Straight square to the jaw of ZywOo. Completely obscured by the smoke. Doesn't stop Device. Rez and Device, 2 versus 4. Already now 3.
Flash is here to facilitate this
If
some buts and maybes. Don't worry about that. They're going to protect these rifles. Going to bottle up here. And
I do like big ifs and big buts. Cannot lie. Though other brothers can deny.
I want to check in with that B stream, actually. Because the yells that you're hearing there are not from the teams on your screen. It's actually from the Movistar Riders representing Spain versus Copenhagen Flames representing Denmark, and they're still in map number 1.
Bloody hell, Virgo's still going.
Yeah, we've checked in with that a couple of times. So the first half scoreline managed to be a 9-6 in favor of the Movistar Riders. Copenhagen Flames did it again, and they're in overtime right now, where the Movistar Riders are winning 17-15.
Context on that is winners in, right?
Yeah, the loser will have to play against the loser of the Fiend versus G2 game. So that one's not going to be easy.
They've really given themselves a nice and reliable berth with the dominance in the group stage. And again, Device doesn't need any vision to find impact. Previous round was straight through the smoke. This time it's the double whammy. Flashed smoke, doesn't matter. How good is his clear? Masuta caught out by Rez, this time aggressive in the underpass, and he's done that before. He's pulled it off before as well. ZywOo being pre-aimed. Oh, okay, now he's peeking left eye in, and ZywOo will eliminate the threat. ZywOo with a 2 in quick succession. Problems now for NIP, and it started so damn strong.
That was quick.
That was very quick.
Last map had Apex written all over it. This one has ZywOo. He's up to 17 kills. Highest fragger in the server right now, and impact galore. Well, this one's been leveled on up, and they can hit the pause button for probably another 20 seconds or longer right now, Vitality, before they have to make up their mind. Hampus loves these jaunts. He likes to get thrust forward on A for info, helps them hedge their bets for where the final finish will be coming on in. And ZywOo continuing that project he's been working on towards long now. Orp is a bit of a force here, and the jump peaks maybe rumbled.
Yeah, I mean, how is Plopsy going to get that info safely? Doesn't matter if Hampus confirms it all with just his bullets. He's got shocks. Oh, fumbles with his nades, and perhaps the round. LNZ's completely detached from the pack. It is just Plopsky. An MP9, but there's not much time.
They have to clear him out. They have to get the bomb down as well.
Yeah, the smoke might save him.
ZywOo, the Guardian.
This spray could have changed everything. He's shy. Just shy of the mark. Kyojin does get it down. They extend play. Hit on Plopsky, but they don't have a smoke to force the hand of the French. Kyojin needed this and does provide it just about. There's the trade, and now a one-on-one.
Needs to get a kit.
Scoops up. And ZywOo actively fighting. What a brave boy. Third found for ZywOo in the round, but Vitality up to 6. And what looked like an NIP, maybe even 10 CT rounds, is looking more and more likely like Vitality are going to close the gap completely.
It's 5-1 at one point. Got up to 8-4 as the scoreline here. And
great sequence out of ZywOo, and looked like maybe NIP had it back in the bag after Hampus.
Yeah, it was ZywOo made this possible, right? Kyojin's there to get them in the advantage was huge as well. And here, NIP, after what has seemed like a good first half, down to just a bit of a rough scenario here. There's that knight you were talking about in the hands of Device. Well, the best they've got around that is the Famous of Hampus here. A couple of CZ75s and a Deagle. And this one is really difficult to win right now. Pot shots or warning shots, one of the two, neither will combine. Nade deep. 8 points of damage done to Masuta there. And when they've tried to go back towards this B site, they have been stalled out normally coming through utility, right? That has been a bit of a problem for Vitality. If they want to go back towards that B bomb site now, they won't have the same concerns. They really just have Plopsky with nades left over now. Masood will have called that flash pick combo. Normally when you hear a flash, there's something behind it. Well, here's a perfect example. Flash into upper bathrooms, cleared on out, heavy on the steps, and now working on a bit more information is Kyojin. He's thrust forward on his own. There's nobody with him. If he walks into one of these CZs, he will give up the AK for free.
Or Rez resisting the temptation to advance. Hard clear. Kyojin's crosshair was there, but Rez is quicker, and it could be two. ZywOo's in trouble, needs his help. It does arrive. Masuta, the cavalry, now cut down to size. Device needs a pair, and there's another one right there. The Tech-9's not good enough, and Device has done so much for the Ninjas. It's only Apex, the star of the nuke show, but not allowed across. Device denies, and they call it 9-6. It's a distinct advantage for the Ninjas, and this is on Vitality's pick. We'll see how far they can push it, maybe even all the way to 3. We'll be right back with the second half of the second map of our first semi-final.
I think honestly he's the guy I've ever played with that has the best work ethic of any player. Very different to other players and gamers in general. Works on his game constantly, watches his demos right after the game, good or bad game, right? So I try to tell him at least. I really admire that. It's something that has an
play.
Not a single GL, only HF.
Yeah, that's important, guys. You never want to wish your opponent good luck. Only wish them to have fun.
Have fun while we win.
You're planning to win, but you still want them to have a good time while they lose. And no one has a good time losing, so it's a bit of an oxymoron.
You say GG, but it's not GG. It's BG. Definitely for Rez on the pistol. Does not get to do much with the armored P250.
Zywoo also not really getting to do a whole lot here. So a couple of quick clicks. And we find ourselves with an equal exchange, 4-4 in terms of the players on the board. And in towards B, the snaky Hampus has found some space yet again. It's just heaven. Oh, okay. Well, Shocks, you've been absolutely rattled right there, straight to the head. And not a lot of HP to work with here as Masuda wants to look for more. They're in towards the site. Apex getting peppered off as well.
Oh, dude, Device is going to catch a beautiful flank here. It's going to be a little late, but see how this one shapes up initially. Oh, and Bessie one on the Glock does get the fresh clip. Masuda with 2 in the feed as well, so a 2-on-2 established. Chip damage, Masuda 3.
Maybe way too late.
Yeah, a little bit too late. They might expect him, and they will. Oh, not far off the mark. Masuda ace.
All 5 for Masuda. All right, then. And the defuse.
That is something. Little nod you can see in celebration. He's done a lot with that USP.
Think about how much cash he gets from that. He did absolutely everything, and Plopsky types HP ... I don't think anybody's going to quite believe that one here. Masuda on all these different fronts, finding all these different fights. Absolute cracker of a round right there. In every game we see of this kid on land, he's starting to prove more and more that he is the second star of this team Vitality. Now, it is going to be the force buy for NIP back here. They don't want to give up on this financial scenario here too early.
It's quite threatening, especially if it's quick. 3 MAC-10s and some very nerdy flashbangs from Device. He wants to pop it. No chance to react from the CTs. We'll see if they get caught out by this. 2 up short, 2 monster, a re-smoked monster already. So it's deep enough that you really don't want to be walking through that regardless of the element of surprise. Masuda, far from surprise. His back will be turned to the flash of Device. And they run straight through him. Flying into the side. Look how blind they are. Everyone has swallowed that. NIP fight back and come back with a vengeance. What are you supposed to do? The only person that had a chance to rumble. It looked like he was pulling the trigger before the door even opened.
Yeah, it felt like a pre-fire right there from Device. Okay, well, yeah, they weren't giving up on the finances by any means. They've grabbed this one right back. Huge round right here, and they're even having a look. Zywoo, you want to hold on to this Famish? You're going to have to fight for your life.
Yeah, and I think I'd like Rushley to give me that flashbang, if you wouldn't mind. I want to, hey, Future Pros.
Hey, Future Pros.
Don't know why he hasn't hit puberty.
If you want to play like NIP, here's a flash that you line up on the left side.
Chad,
you need 2 Future Pros for this one.
Oh, we can hear him! Oh. I didn't know we could hear him.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, was that like a soundboard, or is he real? Is he
I'm just listening, boys, all right? Whatever you say, I'm listening.
Can the people at home hear you?
They should be able to, yeah, sure.
Or maybe...
Yeah.
Oh, Rush, it's so nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, what's
people
going
at
on,
home
boys?
have been, where's Rush? Oh, okay. Well, this is exciting. So all it took was us taking the mick out of him a little bit for him to have to tune on in. Okay. Have we said anything else, Rush, that's almost made you hit that mic button?
Yesterday there was a few things. I was hovering over the button, but I decided, no, I'll let him have the fun, you know?
Oh, I thought we were...
Not going to promote the fan cams, Rush. Come on, man. It was just on the screen.
Get on the fan cams,
the URL?
Alex. The link is...
IEM.GG fan cam.
Nice, Rush.
Thanks, man. Oh, they're coming in again. And the frag's thick and fast. There's nothing left for Vitality. And the force buy wars are over. Concluded.
So is this
Finito.
episode 1 or 2?
This is the first. Strikes back. Wait.
Would that
why would
be
you be
the
striking
fourth?
back in the first?
Wait, I'm confused.
Well,
Is Anakin in the pod racer?
Yes, that is episode 1.
So is Zywoo. Will he become Darth Vader?
What, spoilers, dude?
If you haven't seen Star Wars...
Yeah, what are you going to say? Go on.
Unlucky.
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 Wow. Yeah, B site working well for the Ninjas, and they just get every single fight they desired. I mean, Hampus making so much room. And it's just going to be those 5 pistols. So very reminiscent of how it started for Vitality in their first half, but unfortunately this is NIP, domination stations, and rinse repeat. If it ain't broke.
Yeah, look, there's definitely the force buys are definitely the difference makers, right? If your Vitality can get both pistols and you weren't converting either, you're going to be really up that creek without the paddle here, and just more pedal to the metal. They're going to get themselves straight in towards this B bomb site. Going for the uppercut here. Bang! Hampus is already in their face. Cleaned him up. 17 for Hampus now, and this is looking good for the Swedes. Let's go have a quick little look at the scores on the doors here for everybody playing at home. We've got 18 kills for REZ, 17 for Hampus. We've got 14 for LNZ. It's going to be 12 for Plopsky and 13 for Device. On the other side of things, Zywoo, you've seen his impact. We were talking about it on the AWP on the T side. For Vitality here, he's up to 19. 14 for Kyojin, who's had a couple of multi-kill moments to keep them in some rounds. 12 for Masood, who had the ace on the pistol, so you know how he was pretty dry on that first half. 6 for Apex and 5 for Shock. So Apex, he's cooled off a bit since map number 1. Now he's on that CT side. Maybe we can see more of his nuke antics here, but it will need to start right now because this is the first rifle round.
You can see Vitality have got an attempt at a response, but it's a different setup. So we're going to be seeing Hampus dropping out potential Molotov towards that close monster position.
Love the BXX, don't they?
Yeah, it's right up their street. Vitality to receive again, just doing the flashbang dance, a defensive smoke, maybe buys time for vision, but no bloodshed, at least not from the French. Issues, big issues. Oh, a slight adaption. But the site is lost, the man to the good for Nip. Shox has had a quiet overpass. See if he can voice some concerns, and does catch Rez in that mini pit. Oh, and Liner's not anticipating. Zywoo's so far forward, so
Hampus can win this.
Certainly within the realms of possibility. Don't have a kit, so there will be a bit lackadaisical, and 1 down, 1 to go. Hampus in pursuit. Down to 4 HP. Zywoo is the one that has to bring the fight, and Hampus strikes. 1v2 in the bag, 13 as well. Great work from the leader of the Ninjas.
Okay, we're not getting as loud here, the Swedes, compared to the French when they were sailing to 15, but that should be one of the first nails in the coffin here of Overpass. Map number 3 not that far away now, and it's good to see them going back and forth, both teams looking ready for these maps. I think the map pool for both of them was actually pretty handy. You know, you wouldn't have been complaining with what we see coming on through with the Vertigo removal, the Ancient removal, and now even the Smile starting to creep onto the faces here. So really nice stuff. We'll just have to be some pistol upgrades because max loss bonus is in play. You know the drill at this point. And a timeout called has already subsided, so we will be getting underway very quickly here. But that bonus round from NIP, even though they lost 4 players, it doesn't really matter. They're flush for cash, and this was a similar conversation we had at a point in the first half. Yes?
Chad Sponge Birchall say in that 30-second timeout about getting run over on B for 5 rounds straight?
We might have to try some aggression elsewhere so we can hedge our bets and gamble stack the B bomb side, or let's get some connector control so that we can stall them out from just being able to run up short and run into the site. Some map territory is something that's on the docket, boys.
Certainly for round 22, 21. Looks to be reaching a very swift conclusion.
This is just like Nuke. So on Nuke, it was Rez who was really, really good for NIP, but the team wasn't getting a lot done. This time round, it is the likes of Zywoo, who's really good for Vitality, but the whole team not getting a lot done here. They're being outplayed. Some really clean executes from NIP, and they're just going to continue to clean this one up. REZ and Device, the stars of the show, will get the last 2 kills, and, well, now just 2 more rounds. Fortunately, the AWP can come back into Zywoo's hands here now. He might even want to opt for a double. Shox is in the position to do so, and if he's not feeling the rifle in this, maybe, just maybe, with only those 6 kills, the AWP may have been a consideration, but I can spoil this fun for you guys and let you know the M4 has been brought on out. Zywoo's AWP could be the difference maker as far as going and finding a kill, but if they continue business over towards this B bomb site, which this lovely camera right now shows...
Zywoo's heading that way. How does he plan to deal with a full exec? Like, there's so many nades and players that are going to be thrown his way.
Just has to pick.
Yeah, pillar AWPing. Shadow advantage, and down goes Hampus.
Oh, well, they know that Hampus likes to take those liberties here, but Masuda's locked in towards the sandbag. They're not even looking. The transfer from Masuda, it's brilliant.
Get out of there. They'd love a spotless one. If you wanted to start a comeback with 5 players still alive, is a great place to start.
Okay, well, as I mentioned earlier, NIP do have a lot of cash. Popsky been tagged on through, so he's down to 40. This becomes more difficult just to look for that aforementioned damage, but Device with the AWP is going for a look. That's a quick shot onto Apex there. Does cop a dink for his trouble, so 9 HP remains. Another kill or 2, and starting to work this one through. It doesn't seem winnable, but imagine if they're able to remove the AWP from Zywoo here and it can't get picked up. That was a prong to kick this round off. Plopsky through the monster tunnel. Multiple targets on the other side of this. Fortunately, the bomb, they don't know exactly where it is right now.
Zywoo looking to finish what he started.
He dies here, we'll be stuck heaven. Yeah, the orb's going to be stuck heaven. I don't think they're going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah,
not going to get there. And, Device is orb. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Never mind. When there's an extra AWP on the table, they found that one, and all good in the hood, I do suppose.
No, as I was going to complain, it's like, actually, well, he was using Device as well.
He didn't want that skin.
I thought he was going to complain about the skin, yeah, but no, all good. Nice shots. That's a good start. They'll need a whole lot more.
I think they need 2 more at least, right? Because there's so much surplus of cash right now, maybe even 3, considering the loss bonus will be starting to build right now for NIP. So we'll keep our eyes and ears on that one as back towards B we go again. A little bit less of the forces over towards B, but that is great from Device. He's having a good game right here, right now. 19 kills, and that's the impact. So, what?
Rez, I couldn't believe he's actually hit that. It didn't even look like it was on him. Apex knocked. And there shouldn't be anything more. He actually finishes it off with the pistol. He's chasing Device defensively. Well, that's a kooky one.
And it's done. Okay, yeah. One more round now. Similar feelings is what we had going on Nuke. And having a bit of a giggle about that one in the chat right there. So mood's at an all-time high right now, and I can update you again on what's going on over on that B stream. The first map did conclude. The Movistar Riders picked up Vertigo. They decided to pick into that one. The next map's going to be Ancient. Vertigo Ancient as the map pool here for the youngsters, and Overpass is the third. So you can check that one at just add a B to the end of the URL for this one here. Or live.intelextreme.masters used to work once upon a time. I think
Masters.
Live.intelextrememasters.com. That's the one. Not dot masters. It's not the PGA Tour or anything. But is this it, Alex? Last round?
I suspect it might be. Wow. Shocks, he's at least found one of the 5 required. Counter utility deployed. It's a heavy stack, understandably so, right? From Vitality and off the flash, they profit and extend the advantage they operate with. LNZ to try and change things. Kyojin's jiggly head is not going to be an easy engagement. He does withdraw. Plopsky trying to take space and pip a gap. That's Zywoo's responsibility. And
seems like a void, not a gap.
Yeah, gets the info. You can see him through the window.
Oh, Shox has secured this one, hasn't he? LNZ seeming ready. His head was at least facing the right direction, but back and forth they swing like a pendulum. The bomb site they have to go towards now has been confirmed as the B bomb site.
Creeping.
Flank, yeah, it should be it.
Crawling.
Is he a spider?
Well, you said pendulum. Maybe he's a tarantula. Banger. Clean? Or has Device got a couple of taps in him? Yeah, Shox will make it 3. Good to see his name in the feed. He has been pretty absent here on our second map of play.
That's only their 3rd round. That's only their 3rd round so far. Remember, they did get that pistol round with a Masuta ace, right? So the fact that NIP, again, I'll mention it in case you missed it, NIP were able to win the force buys and then convert there. They took themselves out of the force buy wars. They set themselves up with a great base. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from both teams. When both teams are having good games, right, on the other squad's map, it's something to get excited about here. It means they're here to play. No AWP here for the CT side of Vitality. Timeout has concluded once more. Still plenty of cash for NIP. Lots of residual for the likes of Rez and LNZ going forward as well. So it doesn't feel like there's going to be too many dramas in the buy department. With only one more round to find. 6 for Vitality here to take us to that overtime. This does feel like it's destined for the Swedes to make this series go the distance here today. What's the difference maker? Extinguish on the molly. Shocks found the opening kill in the previous round. Wants to do the same, barreling up and close towards that smoke. Here's Plopsky.
Yeah, and he's just gone straight through it. So, like, that territory is theirs, and Shock's so quick to evacuate. He's not interested in any early engagements.
Oh, they found a massive timing here. You talked about the gap last time round. Like, if they get a move on, if they just continue forward, the rotation of ZywOo, it will be able to set up, but he won't be expecting them this close. No way in the world.
Look how they're quick.
He won't expect them here.
Oh, okay. He's lucky to have at least gotten the info and gotten away. Counter utility will be deployed, and he's got a lot on his plate. The util is great. Apex does deliver something, but NIP have eliminated the threat on the site, and now the bomb going down uncontested. It's going to be a hard one to break back through. A single flash from Kyojin to try and get his teammate through. And here comes Masuta Brave through the smoke. And Linus is having none of it. Only Kyojin up against 2. What was 3?
Device's AWP has surely won it.
Yeah, he has a kit. That's something. But yeah, going to really struggle to isolate. And into the AWP. Oh, lives on. A leg shot from Device. And it's just a tough one. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Oh.
Molly for good measure. Call it 16-9. Kyojin just looking to pad the stats. Rez denies, and we're off to our third. Fist bumps exchange. We'll take a quick break and be back with the analyst desk to break it down and set the scene heading into our third.
Start pushing the boys. Hej då! Live boys. Hej. Hej då Robin.
Allez, let's go les mecs. Allez go.
Allez go.
Let's go. Juste, remplis le kit et volk. Volkan.
Nej! GG. Passning bra. Fett bra. Saknar bara vinster.
Dommage. Dommage.
Go. Spring pass. Det går AK.
Såja.
Fett bra. Fett bra boys. Nice. Nice. Nice red boys.
Nice. Dommage.
Dommage.
Let's go. Dommage, let's go.
Fucking nice Linus. King mannen. Fett bra mannen. Nice.
Nice Nico. BBK Richard? Ok.
I think we got to see Hampus, some of his classic playstyle working out, and Rez in particular is a player that we've been talking about throughout this tournament, has looked very solid. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that in the first map to the same extent because the rest of his supporting cast weren't there, but Rez was looking very impactful. Even on the T side, when we switched over to the second half, he was finding a lot of important kills in towards water. We always talk about how water on the T side, just controlling that is so important. I think NIP just dominated some map control in this.
And that one tap on Apex.
Yeah, that was
pretty sick. Pretty
cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That didn't hurt. I think obviously for NIP in this game, just despite losing both pistols, getting the reset right back afterwards, I think that was definitely the deciding factor for me. That just gives you, it's actually way worse to lose the second round after winning pistol, doesn't matter which side you're on, than just straight up losing pistol and losing the second round. Because your economy takes a hit. Something that I'm surprised that Vitality doesn't do. We used to do it on phase, like when we get reset and get 1400 just bonus, you leave like 400 or 500 on your players. You don't buy for all the money. So when the gun round comes in, you have all your nades, right? Because if you buy all the way and you don't win that force, then come the first gun round, you have like 4.5k, and on a map like Overpass, that's not going to be enough for your CT side. You want to have all the smokes, you want to have the deep mollies for mid. There's a whole dynamic going on there at the beginning of the round, so Vitality couldn't win the force buy back, and that just puts you in a hole very early on.
But here we are again with Vitality, saying almost identically what we say almost every time the man plays. His name's Zywoo. He's putting up impressive numbers. He's got something to show. He's shown up to play here in a big way for the side of Vitality. Not enough to be the saving grace on Overpass, but certainly notable.
Yeah, you never really see a Zywoo drop off, and I thought that clutch is about to happen, right? That little one tap he tries to go for on short. I think, a little bit of flash, a little bit of ego maybe for Zywoo. It's just a little glimpse of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him, but so damn close to having one of the best highlight plays you've seen in this competition. Just couldn't quite pull it off, and it is just a frag movie when you watch Zywoo play one map of Counter-Strike. He just finds so much impact in the AWP, and someone that had much more impact than he did over on Nuke was Device coming into this. I think he had a decent middle of the pack performance coming into this, and I definitely want to see that upward trend continue because, well, no one was showing up for NIP in that first map. When we talk about how important Device is to have a superstar for NIPs, what makes the difference to the side is what makes it a possibility to even think about them beating Vitality, and Device has to show up in this game.
Yeah, and those stats you saw there in our Air Force Aim High head-to-head were encompassing the entire series. What I want to look at here, rather, I guess, discuss with you, Yanko, is, what the idea of the coaches are doing at this moment in time. You got XTQZZ on one side, and then you're looking at Threat and Nip. So I'm wondering what it is you think that they're, possibly bringing to the table here.
I think for Vitality, it's probably just reminding the players, hey, let's pay a little bit more attention to these second rounds, right? Like in both halves, it was a little bit of a misplay, a little bit of just players losing focus. Like let's stay focused here and get the job done. And I also think, for him, probably trying to bring back, MAGA slogan really is, which is make Apex great again. Like he did so great on Nuke, being put in a star position, right, on Overpass, not as much so, and there was a completely 180 really in terms of his own individual performance. So put Apex in more star roles. Let's see if he can deliver.
I mean, he's hitting the shots. Like, if there's someone to take strides right now, it is Apex.
Well, he looked good in the first map. This map, 8 and 20, I believe he finished on. So, yeah, very quiet performance heading into Overpass. And there's a lot of space you can play with there on Overpass. But Apex obviously not in the right spots for it. Or if it was, he was just getting outdueled by NIP, who have stepped up. And I think a player you look at on the opposite side of things who has had quiet games in this competition is Linus. On Overpass, it seems to be a very comfortable map for him. He's always finding impact for NIP. Throughout this competition, Linus has been able to pick up impact, maybe not at the top of the scoreboard and fragging, but he finds those crucial, important kills, and he's put in a position there's a lot of responsibility in.
And Vitality probably going to low-key be kicking themselves for this loss, because you look at that second half, what did NIP really do? A couple of B pops, right?
Exactly.
Like, the B execute with low utility and pistols. That's, the most go-to thing you can do. And the fact that they just straight up lose that round. And, a couple of just straight immediate entry kills. Device on mid, Rez on Apex jumping sandbags. That's it. Game half over, you lost.
So, no one's technically lost yet, so to say. So with Inferno on the cards in front of us, a knife round to determine sides, Where are we going to go with this one, regardless of who starts where?
Well, I think it should be Vitality taking Inferno. I think we've seen some weaknesses for NIP in the previous game. They played against Movistar Riders in this map. They didn't really deal too well with those simple pops into the side, simple executes. I think NIP were kind of struggling a lot with that. And for Vitality, it's a map they're extremely comfortable on. I feel heading into this final map, I just feel like Vitality won't have back-to-back performances like that. I don't think you can expect the same drop-off from these individual 2 maps in a row. And I think Inferno is just going to be one of those maps that's very hard to disrupt and really try and fight early the way NIP were doing. They were fighting that map control very early on, but Inferno is just going to be much more stable, much more structured, and we see teams struggle in that environment.
Yeah, I think they had a problem with just going for blind stacks and blind gambles against Movistar Riders too much, and we saw a couple of those just, late B fake, go A, and, had 4v2 situations really for Movistar Riders. So I think for NIP, they were aware of that. Hampus said post-game really, and you want to see a change in mentality for NIP. Any team that wants to be the best in the world and be a contender for titles, you have to, be the aggressor, so to speak, and be the one dictating the pace of the game, right? It's always going to be easier for you to react when you're making the play. You know where you're strong, You know where you're weak, you know what the timings are. So NIP, less blind stacks and more information plays, right? That's what allows your players to rotate, use utility. We see if they maybe have added a couple of tricks of their own in terms of utility on Inferno. That's the map where we see that happened the most so far.
So if I remember right, it's like the best defense is offense sometimes, which is exactly, I think, what Yanko was trying to paint. And as well for us, we're going to paint us into a break. We got to come back. We get a decider, an Inferno map here between NIP and Vitality in a semi-final bout. One of these teams going on to the grand final, the conclusion of it. That much we know for sure. We're going to a break. We'll be RB.
Yes, nice shot, my friend.
Cheaters ruining your plays?
I have eyes on the enemy.
Bad servers stopping your shots? What you need is ESEA. Advanced anti-cheat to stop cheaters. And the best servers around, all with 128 tick rate. ESEA, the best way to play CSGO.
Choose nades, choose a smoke, choose a flashbang. Choose team badges to support your favourite CSGO team. Choose an ESEA Premium membership. Choose routes you know bring in wins. Choose pro video tips. Choose the fan club wars. Choose behind the scenes content. Choose good grades. Choose guns you know you can shoot right. Choose bingo. Choose the equipment you know is going to get your team the win thanks to heat maps. Choose the CSGO Hub Premium, the complete package to help you and your squad achieve all your CSGO goals.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Threat after map 2 overpass. Threat, firstly, what went wrong on Nuke?
So I think we went in with a really good game plan on Nuke, but I mean CSGO happened, we lost the pistol rounds, we lost a few clutches, and we just blinked and it was 6-0. We started gaining some momentum, then Apex won that silly 1v3 with a C set on floor, and we really couldn't recover after that.
All right, and how did you and the guys bounce back on overpass?
We had a very serious conversation after the first map, sort of saw that we need to step up individually in both with the comms and aim, and I think we really did that on the second map.
Thank you very much. Best of luck in map number 3.
Thank you.
Thank you to Parla there, and talking to the coach. Threat, Vitality, NIP, map 3. And knives for sides required. Just spoke to Threat as well ahead of this one, talking about how both teams came in with win streaks on Inferno. Admittedly, that was recently crushed by a loss to, was it the Riders, I believe?
Sounds right. I think the Dusk were talking about that earlier as well.
Yeah. But yeah, domination stations for both of the teams. Very familiar territory. So I'll be intrigued to see how they interact. Intrigued to see whether we get another blink and you miss it start from Vitality. And Nuke still weighing heavy on our minds. Maybe not so much NIP after the serious team talk, as he discussed. They did come in firing on all cylinders, at least individually, and it converted. So overpass, both teams losing their map picks. Find ourselves on the decider for the semi-final, the first of Intel Extreme Masters EU RMR.
NIP did win the knife round there. Came down to the wire. Rez getting the final kill. They've decided to start here on that CT side. Speaking of Rez, he's got those Julies in his hands with the armor as well. Plopsky into the CZ75 and just making sure they get all those goodies from spawn there. Vitality. P250s, 2 of which, bit of util as well, smokes and flashes, and peppering up mid is Apex.
This is the first time I haven't seen the Julies at the half wall. He's taken them 2 apps.
If they waterfall out, and currently they're starting to work over in that direction here, Vitality, that wouldn't be too bad for the job. 3 up through the apartments, Kyojin and Apex. With that utility, we'll be throwing it from downtown. Apex in the chicken pit, Kyojin behind the barrels in middle. And those smokes they can lob out here. One towards the moto position and one looking like it's going to go on the balcony. Flashes over and here's the Julie's activated.
Oh yeah, already drawing blood. Masuta forced to watch as the pistol unfolds. Zaiwu's hunting him down and has converted on the reload. Oh, LNZ a slip up. Only one now to defend the site, and he's been deleted. Zaiwu is activated. And the bomb is planted. He's got a retake smoke here. Plopsky might be able to isolate the pit players. Zaiwu might be unable to contribute here.
They're sitting on the kit in pit, so this is looking pretty impossible right now for NIP.
Yeah, well, the first is there. Plopsky would need the second in quick fashion. Kyojin duking it out with Plopsky, and it looks like the graveyard walk from Hampus has been cancelled. Zaiwu will make it 3. And the French take the pistol.
A couple of crispy ones there, so we're getting back underway with where we kick things off on Nuke. And I think we might even get the fire back in the belly, right? When things weren't going so well on overpass there, the French were a little bit more quiet. This time around, they're trying to make some noise about things. And the Julie's really not really getting a start here. It was actually Linus from the pit, LNZ getting that opener right there. And Rez found out, Hunter down the force by in. And round number 2 is where I think the action, where we really, in the early game, oh, look at that, a couple of HEs. Looks like 3 of which have been left over here for Hampus to continue to dunk towards middle.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Often you have T's gathered, waiting for contact. Oh, he's
trying him out early.
Very early with that.
Hampus.
Oh. Well, Rez has got alternate plans. You don't need nades when you've got a D like that.
What just happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Blink and you will miss it. Rez has shot 2 heads, and it might even be another here as the Plopsky CZ connects. Vitality just falling by the wayside. It's only Zaiwu and Kyojin now.
We'll have the bomb for now.
Yeah, for now. Look at Device. He's not going to let that go easy. He's taking a chunk and a Kyojin's health pool. LNZ's responsible for B.
I think with Zaiwu still alive, I'm believing in this one for Vitality. Kyojin being low, yeah, a bullet and he's down. But Zaiwu, if he can hit another couple of crispy shots here, we'll be able to get them in towards this B bomb site. A bunch of utility to work with. The float man of Hampus is over towards Arch, and he is starting to even backpedal further away. The gun swap just to give the AK to Zawu, and LNZ is pushing forward. That's a nice shot from him, and the second as well. Call this one done. What Rez started, LNZ will finish. End of the alphabet, end of the round.
Oops. LNZ there, I think he thought his teammate was closer behind him. He ended up actually discarding the AK in pursuit of that Galil. Will not necessarily have any real ramifications in this battle for early control. But yeah, what a shot out of Rez, too, to be specific.
I wonder if they got baited in because the nades were coming from arch side, that they thought there was a stack arch side, and then Rez has swung out from short. You know, there's something that could be played in there. The mind games of this whole nade situation. Hampus sits Zawu down. Take a break, mate. It's a really quick opener right there for NIP to be getting here, and because it is up against the 4 spy, there's not a lot Vitality can do. They'd be hoping to at least wait out the early barrage of the CT utility. Oh. Well, a tag, but through the corner of the wall. Not a lot of damage done whatsoever. Not even 20 points of health taken away from Plopsky there. It's going to be 17 on the nose as he tucks on in aggressively in Banana. Still with LNZ close. Pedaling back and forth. Off and peppered on through. They're going to run straight in. Plopsky's Mac 10. Good for 2. May as well call it 3. Now it's just one man remaining here. Shocks.
Lovely bit of room for him here. Gets to stretch his legs, get his cardio in, burn some calories. Maybe even burn through some of that CT economy if he can get a couple of kills going here. Spotted out and does adjust in time. Rez just slipping up on the banana skin.
I think he wants to hold on to this. Now, this isn't going to have huge issues right now unless they chase him and take it after time. So before I start talking about the next round, let's just see how this one concludes here, because they know that he has to be over towards A, right? The best he could have done is slipped over towards Library, and oh, Hampus.
I'm surprised he's so actively searching.
Yeah, he thought about it for a second there, but has dipped on back, so no more damage inflicted. But the problems that this is going to have with the saved M4 is not immediately into the next. It's going to come in the following gun round, where Shocks won't be getting the same amount of loss as everybody else, right? So with this M4 right now, you're going to need to make sure you get something from it, and that was actually fantastic from Hampus there. We caught it on the replay. A nice little shot there to open up the account. They need to make sure that Shocks is keeping this one with a kill or 2. Getting into a bomb site and getting the bomb down would be fantastic. That might get rid of those financial woes that we were talking about there. And some more nades left in towards spawn. So we're going to be seeing more and more of that. I suspect we're going to see it very well refined by the time we get to the major. This is our first foray into this update. Seems like a big tournament to have that happen, but it's been great to see some different levels of creativity shown by these teams. And here we go, scooping them up. Hampus back on through spawn, grabs a couple of extra nades. Zawu takes one. 25 points of health remaining now, and it is slow. Very, very slow here. This time, at least it wasn't the opener out the gates here. But Shocks, the man we need to keep our eyes on. The head armor, the M4.
Well, that M4 could do damage here. Confirmation of Hampus's position. 3-man setup on A. Pulling out the nades, and I mean, this is just kind of like a glamorous rot of that utility with the addition of Shocks' M4. They are a little more threatening. Well, they were past 10 to this point. Still have that weapon equipped, but a flub smoke. Apex just about with his tail between his legs has escaped. And Hampus looking for style points, trying to finish it off with the dig, and he can't quite get it across the line. So now there's another M4. Suta is going to surely struggle to hold on to this one. He's right there in the arch. There's so many members of NIP hunting him down, and it will be Plopsky's frag all day of the week. 3-1 NIP, despite the lost pistol bouncing back and converting. So they're up to no good.
if you think about the last map as well, Vitality picked up the 2 pistols there, right? They picked up the 2 pistols, then they lost the 4 spies. So the same thing's happened here to them, unfortunately. They're good at getting the pistol rounds, but not great at getting the conversions, and that really was a problem for them on Overpass. It might come back to haunt them here, because that issue with the loss bonus, you can see it immediately reflected in Shox' buy. It is just going to be a Tech 9. Does have a bag of util with this, but what's the call going to be? 3 up second mid. 1 man of Zywoo to deal with Banana, and normally great in this position. Lots of mollies. Will have to extinguish to keep himself alive, so playing fireman here. Maybe that's what he wanted to be when he grew up. But again, the slow crawl. No risks being taken, no early aggression.
Yeah, I mean, from one side, sure. Plopsky, on the other hand, his aggressions have been cut down. Device set up in the apps. Oh, he gets 2 with the 1 bullet. Finish it off with the nade. Masuta evades. He lives on. And back to B. Device, I think, might be thinking about the same thing. He's smoked off on long, so might be locked to that, at least until he can confirm there's nothing top mid. His B players don't look too threatened right now, at least not feeling it. They'll hear some sound cues, and that's enough to drop a smoke of their own.
Out of util, they have to go.
Here they come. And Apex are sitting duck.
It's looking easy now, isn't it?
See with the pluck, and yeah, only 2 bodies left for the Vitality squad. Good luck, have fun. Shox and Masuta, nadeless. Giving it everything they can. Linus' smokes, so much power in it. Looking the wrong way. It's something back for Vitality. Newbox will provide some cover.
Happy with the plant here, especially where the loss bonus is right now. So something out of nothing right now for the French.
There could be more. Oh, that might spread. Masuta peeking out, burnt to a crisp. Only Shox on the coffins. Tracks res, but no health for this. The clock's his best friend, and they're just going to close the gap, and he has 2. Catches Device and another Hampers Ninja. Surely not.
It every time. Surely not.
Surely not. 3 for 3 in the 1v1s from NIP, and it's all thanks to the pros don't fake. Holding it every time, holding their nerve. Vitality have come close. But again, just holding that one. No fake so far from them.
That's crazy. Every single time they just seem to sit these diffusers right here. Not wanting to play the game against Vitality, just wanting to get the objective done and ushered on in. 4-1. Now that plant, it was important because that's allowed another buy for Vitality. And considering how close that round was, maybe, just maybe, with this one here, they can start working on some rounds. Peeking on in, Device.
Shox knew he had a bit more of a window to commit to the spray, given the missed orb shot. Good maneuver from Zywoo initially, but it results in his demise. And again, NIP, they are looking very rigid on this defense. There's not many opportunities for Vitality's individuals to just make a play and make some space.
Yeah, they're not getting that space right now. At least middle was on the docket. Molly off the skybox there. That's going to burn out towards Porch. So indicating that they want to head towards this A site, but NIP, they're not deterred. Still 3 players parked in Banana. If it is the A play, they'll be quick up behind. Apex having a look in and sees nothing, but as he pushes, he's going to find everything. They step on out. Another player falls, and a 5v3.
Stark contrast to that start of this series. NIP just heating up with every passing round. Rez delivers. And Shox is his last victim. Perfection.
Threat's getting loud for the boys. They're keeping their calm over there.
Get the good vibrations.
Yeah, this is where Xtaz is going to chip on in. Now, after they took timeouts in that second map on Overpass, and Xtaz chipped in, they were actually able to get some rounds going here. It might just have to be a half buy here from Vitality. There's 2 names who look good for a buy. That's Kyojin and Shox. The other 3 could get Galils if they really want, and that's what this timeout's going to be about. What's the discussion going to be? Max loss bonus is in play, so 3,400 in the next round. And if they all buy around to that point so that they can make sure that they get a gun round and keep this one with something respectable, that'll be the double dip as far as the money is concerned. But starting to get away from the French now. We've seen teams be able to bounce back from scorelines much worse than this, so don't worry just yet. NIP, they're carrying that momentum through, and well, it's 3 players B again. Res and Device. That's 2 names you'd be happy to have locked down A, I think.
Yeah, I think you can count on them. Again, with early, deep Banana smoke, it just means Vitality would have to invest heavy util if they did want that space. Speaking of util, more scooped up. Hampus on the rotate gets an extra incendiary and flash.
I feel at some point it might have to change a gear here for Vitality, especially if NIP keep finding opening kills and then they're just trading out efficiently. Or not even trading, right? Just being offered up individual fights. And it's stalled out again. We've just had another 45 seconds quickly blow by. NIP happy just to sit in actually quite a defensive stance here. No info on Banana. They don't have any info on mid right now. They just had some. There was the jiggle from Hampus over towards the arch side. But again, this is really interesting to see that Vitality are happy just to play so far back. Now, I know they're not operating with full rifles. They can't take the fights as fairly as they'd hope. But with all that info that NIP have had, they've actually been able to hedge their bets with a 3-man B stack. You got Plopsky on the boost. You got Hampus baiting with shots through the smoke. And then you still have LNZ back at the site with a molly here. 30 seconds. It will be this B finish. Everybody from Vitality ready to run on in.
Yeah, that's going to be the incendiary as well, but it's ahead of it in the pool is Masuta. Eliminated now, problems. Zywoo's the only one with the rifle and the only one in the feed for Vitality. It's 2 from him. Bomb cancelled thanks to the swing. Can't keep control of the weapon, only shocks. And it's unlikely he even gets this bomb down.
They should push when they hit planning.
Surely going to close that gap. He anticipates that and looking to take another head. Okay, gets costly. Swede's happy with that. 6 in the bank. Very early, strong start from NIP.
You have to like that, though, from Vitality still. I know that it's not a round, but again, they just had leveled out their cash. They kept it as an expensive round. They took 4 players away. More brilliance here from Zyro on the way on in. And, well, Plant, that would have been the cherry on top of this one right here. Rez does save the day, but they make sure that NIP stay humble. Right, there's a threat ever pressing around the corner there. Shocks into the T side at AWP. It won't be Zywoo here, and a pot shot taken as the mid-cross. Hampus thought that would have been a little bit freer there. Apex after the blistering map 1 has definitely cooled off here and would have loved an opening. LNZ strafes out. It's looking too easy now.
Well, they know where Device is. Force the shot out of him with the flash. Rejigging it.
Actually re-aggressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick all the way down.
Shocks holding this one. That's some confidence for Dev. It's been silenced.
Curious to see if they gamble one of the sites here, right? Hampus is over towards the B bomb site right now. He still has a smoke and a molly. Utility to lock down that B site if they do want to return there. But Vitality, again, this time, they've come out on top of the early exchanges. But it's more of this slower pace. And as the time ticks on down, it is a mid-crossfire. This could be the blender if they run on in. A bit cavalier. Out of the boiler, up mid they go, and they are walking into this crossfire.
Okay, Plopsky and Rez looking to lock it down, and Wasuted already took 1 scalp, and that will be it. Vitality in hot pursuit of their second.
Now Hampus, he knows what's been going on with the cash money situation, so looking to save. He'll have to be dropping a gun across to Plopsky in the next round. Everybody else is going to have plenty. 1,400 as the loss bonus here. What's he thinking about? I thought you'd be loving a save right now.
Is he giving it a look?
I don't know. It seems really risky to do so. Halfway ticked. Hampus is cheeky. He's very, very cheeky and maybe just damage. He does have that molly he can drop back of pit to try and deny these rifles.
Oh, there's one. Zywoo. And that was what he was looking for, I suppose. Gets away with the AK and an extra frag for good measure.
Okay, so both teams being very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not stingy. That's not the one. The opposite.
Conservative? Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty cracking today. I think those series yesterday. Taking some of the beans away from me.
There's obviously not as much on the line here today. Obviously, for Vitality, they're still fighting for that legend status, which for them obviously means the world. For NIP, they've already secured that based off the fact the way the games have gone. But obviously, if you joined us last night for that ENCE versus G2 game, there was so much on the line there. Had a different feel to it.
Zywoo, this is actually an operational gap. He can find an opportunity. The nade looks right on the money. In between the wickets. He's trying to do it on his own. All the util and the fights being taken by Zywoo. Counter util from NIP looks good, and the info gathered. Plopsky looking to stand and fight and deliver. Opener again found for the Ninjas, and now they can just turtle up into the site, tuck their head into their shell.
Pick up the supply drops as well, so maybe there's a nade that was meant to be around here that's rolled away. That's one of the issues with the HEs, right? You get the mollies, the nades, they do get a little bit roly-poly. He has the smoke, so he can lock the door here. It's very, very shallow, though.
Yeah, but it's a bit suspicious. You don't know if they're playing over in that pool position on the edge of the smoke. It's... some juggled weapons. You get to see Apex rocking the AWP. Don't get to see this one too often. Maybe he can forge a path into the ace site, because the three-man setup, NIP are playing textbook Counter-Strike right now.
He's had plenty of practice on the scout, so that might be enough. Doesn't move as quick, though. Won't be as zippy around those corners. Shock's just keeping them there, planted towards the B site. So the two players of LNZ and Plopsky should not be moving here as we turn our attention back towards A. Moto smoke, arch side molly, and away they go.
Counter flash is good. Device deals with apps, and the suit are trying to do something. Only Apex putting his name in the feed. NIP locking it down again.
Looking great on this one now, 7-2. And I was talking earlier how the scoreline can quickly snap shut. But it's not feeling that way. This is a bit limp, and I think the scores help reflect that. Got 8 for Shock, 7 for ZywOo, 3 apiece for Apex and Masutra, and only 1 kill for Kyojin here. So really need to see an individual or two stepping up now to help Vitality get back into this game. Everyone loves a bit of help sometimes. And yeah, they're scratching their heads right now. Second timeout called. Looking into the 10th round of play, it is going to be another half investment here. Have funds in the chat once more, and let's see, is this going to be the change of pace that I was talking about?
I got the Vitality securing legend spots.
Conditions.
Conditions, thank you, that's the word. They need to place top 3, Australis place top 2, or G2 place top 6 at best. All of those still up for debate.
Plopsky doing the juggling act now. We've been watching more and more players doing this. And to varying success, right? Some players are just throwing out the nades and they're not finding any damage. Some are throwing them out and they're finding huge chunks. So it's going to be interesting to continue to monitor this. Banana control. Wow, it's given. And I think they're trying to go mid to B here, you know?
Looks like it, yeah. I mean, Device should have a real good angle for this. They're aware. So is he.
Standoff right now.
Ooh, and it doesn't quite hit the mark on the first, and now multiple targets towards spawn. Rez is actually going for a re-aggression through the arch. Their backs will be turned, trying to avoid Device, but they're not ready for Rez. And that's a great handling of the situation. No real threat.
None at all.
ZywOo, just a one.
Like, none at all. Like, they're lacking, like, the bloodlust. Like, he's pinned in library. We're just waiting. We've only got the pistol. Somebody needs to get stuck in. Right? Somebody needs to start finding them these kills, because you get the space, that's one thing, but you need to find the frags. And that has so much time, right? NIP, they're taking a lot of space there. You can see Rez pushing around as well. They knew exactly what type of hit that they were dealing with. And I'm hearing more shouts over from that room. Movistar Riders versus Copenhagen Flames, map number 2, the Riders. 14-5 the scoreline reads right now. So the Movistar Riders are just 2 rounds away from securing themselves a spot in the major. Spaniards watching right now. I'm sure there's going to be a massive celebration. Their storyline's pretty crazy considering they've only recently just changed roster.
Yeah, and in a large way. Returning to communicating in their native tongue. It's Gangster, and Plopsky is too. Look at his positions. I think he's been booked here. Yeah, completely. No room for Vitality at the inn.
This is just looking shaky for the French right now. Oh, straight through the smoke. It's getting worse, isn't it? And we've had so many rounds that have commenced like this, that have kicked off like this, where they lose an opening kill, or maybe they cop a bit of damage here. They're not getting the space that they're working for. They're being denied, and NIP are getting away with it. they're not even, it doesn't feel like they're even having to work too hard, because you notice that Vitality aren't pushing the issue with anything crazy. How many other players other than Zywoo have you seen in Banana early? Apex tried it once, Zywoo's tried it a couple of times, but there's no gusto to this.
Yeah, it's such a stark contrast. Almost like two different teams from that first map, and the screams and the guffaws.
Remember, like NIP, there's no pressure on them. They've already got this legend status. So they might be playing a little bit freer here, and Hampus' push, straight in.
Yeah, he just goes for the blood, and it's done. I mean, what, 2 versus 4? Device tucked on the site. Rez is in a power position and knocks the head out of Kyojin. 9-2. Look at them go. All smiles, ear to ear, as this is not only a one-half chat, it's just a question of by how much.
I don't know if they can stop them right now, especially with this pace. I thought when the Tech 9s came out earlier that would be the gear shift, but it hasn't. Still feels like we're in second gear right now. Need to shift up, because these reactions from Apex are the ones that you should come familiar with when things aren't working. It's not the yelling, it's not the getting hyped on up, it's just frustration, and wow, you can understand it, and that's going to be the third time out called now. Might not have any left for the second half here, considering the way things are going. Now, money is there. The AK's purchased on in, and if you have a pocket strap, if you have anything that you've been working on, anything that you've been trying to save, if you want to continue your hopes and dreams here within this event, as far as the upper bracket goes, as far as that grand final, which is tomorrow, goes, this would be the time to pull it on out. Oh, here we go again. After the third time out, do we have a change of conversation, or is it just going to be one-way traffic for the Swedes here, who are looking, well, unstoppable right now? Deep mid smoke, 2 towards A, 3 towards B. Standard stuff. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing outside of the textbook here, other than a couple of cheeky nade drops. That's the only difference.
Okay, well, you wanted some pace, you wanted some team play, and, well, Vitality are throwing a quick one towards A here. The reactive util seems good. Oh, and another one from straight through the smoke. LNZ again delivers them a first blood.
He's got the goggles on right now. Seems to be finding them no matter where they are. Well, they've been sold out immediately. After that, Alex, after they've been denied, they have 1 smoke and 4 flashes left. And over a minute to operate with.
And it's felt like Banana's been closed, like closed for business. They are going to have another go.
Oh, come on, Hampus. Be nice to them now.
Yeah, they are.
You're bullying them.
Yeah, but this isn't like the same kind of quote-unquote disrespectful CT aggression as it is just very, very well-timed, choreographed and coordinated team maneuvers. The individuals as well hitting their shots. That's a miss from Device, and he's been punished for it. But look at the aggression out of Hampus. Maybe I need to eat my words, because that is cheeky.
Yeah, Device was dying to just bait them in, because Hampus wants them all. That's 4 for him. 14 kills now, and well, sailing to this grand final. And you know the storyline that we can set up on the other side of things. Sure, for the French, we're talking about the fact that, yeah, okay, they want to fight for that legend status. Well, we would love to see Device taking on Astralis. He left the team earlier in the year. He made this blockbuster move, one that blew everybody away. I don't think any of us saw this coming at all. Away from Astralis over to NIP.
Big battle on Banana here. Util's been great from the Ninjas. And it looking even better again from LNZ. Damage and then some. Plopsky with the 2. Nothing left for Kyojin, really. Even his teammates just been eliminated, and he takes the fight. Rez will collect 11 already. NIP sailing, smooth sailing. There isn't a single turbulent sea.
It was with the pistol round that they lost, right? That they won. Sorry, they won the pistol round, and they've only won 1 other round since then. That's it. That's all they've really been able to muster. That's absolutely wild here. Great showing from the Swedes. Running with that momentum of map number 2. And at this point, you can see them getting to 13. It wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility by any means. Deep nades down again, always softening them up. Vitality limping out of the rounds here with either a body or damage. There you go, that's the rolling, yeah.
And that's another opener, as if NIP.
Oh, another one.
Oh my God. Absolutely battered. He's ahead of the smoke. Plopsky's on the boost though, so as he puts his bottom on the line, he's down. I'll give you something, Chad, that NIP, if they convert this one, it won't be that dangerous scoreline.
Bottom on the barrel again here.
Oh, Device knows there's another one to be found. I'm sure he's tempted to re-peak, but the whole squad are. Look at them, charging, lusting for it to finish this one quick. NIP 12, Vitality 2.
It's so measured, right? They know when to go aggressive, and they're not really getting out of control of things here. They're sticking with it.
Obviously, our riders were getting loud there, or was it the flames?
I'm just having a little bit of a look. Scoreline 15-8 right now. Deaths with 2 big kills. Maybe, just maybe, that one is coming to its conclusion.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of yelling, so maybe it is over. We'll be there in a moment. We're just catching on up. But that is massive, right? That's a massive result right there. And almost a massive result here. Final round of play, the opener again. It's just been the same and same again. Haven't been able to get anything going here, the French. Just absolutely nothing at all. You'd love one round just to believe that you can actually get the 5 kills necessary to win a round here, but another 5-on-3. I couldn't count on one hand, I don't think, how many rounds have been like this for Vitality.
Confirmed, there's action coming. Something from Misuta. Zaiwu as well. So what was a 5v2 now becoming just a little more realistic.
Tice is pushing again here. Yeah. They do not care at all. They don't care at all.
They're not going to be expecting this.
He's just going to peek down mid here.
Calls it clear.
Maybe even with the AWP. Oh, come on, you weren't even aiming at him.
Yeah,
you're just pre-firing.
Style points, and Zai was his next victim. 13. Vitality got very little to show for that, and Inferno on lock. We'll be right back to see if Vitality got anything more to show, or if NIP going to speedrun their way to that grand final.
Best of one. Everything can
everyone
happen.
Everyone can beat everyone.
Yeah. Plus in a stressful environment, so you got like all the resources to do a banger with every matches. So I don't know. Talking about us, we just want to play as the
You got like 4 of them within a couple of kills of each other, but also LNZ, who is just lagging behind at 10, was the one that was finding them 4 to 5 back-to-back openers towards the tail end of that first half. 13 already in the bank account, Chad. They are in hot pursuit of that pistol. If they do pick it up, you may as well stick a fork in this one.
Shox with a warning shot. I'm liking the Counter-Strike NIP are playing here. It's tempered. They know when to go for the aggression, which is that knockout blow, and they also have been doing their strats. Now this one, we've seen it once. We're going to see it again. So they're going to waterfall out apartments here with the flashes of Device.
I'm intrigued to know if it catches Graveyard. Like, if he's not looking at the floor, there shouldn't be a way. It catches, and actually Hampus has caught Shox. Kyojin just
ahead
the one,
of the flashes.
well ahead of the flashes, and now surely there's something to be said about this. Zywoo and Apex.
They have to go for this, right? If you imagine wanting to save what you have right now on the pistol round and then having to go up against a 14-2 scoreline.
Yeah, you have to give it everything it's got, and re-smoke on the library position. Outlook gets even worse. A tasty gap, sure. No contact on that mini pit. Apex thinks better of it, waits for the info, but look from behind, Zywoo is in trouble. 2 players bearing down on his location. The nade damage was good, but there's nothing more. Nothing more to be said. This is going to be a very dominant finish from NIP. And Vitality, it all hinges now on what little they can invest into our 17th.
Yeah, this is such a rough place to be, right? It's eco, allow the 15th, and then have to get 13 of your own in a row, or it's go for a force buy, and you're talking Deagles, CZ for Apex here. He's not going to go for his signature scout. Shox likes to go for this MP9 on the force buys, so they could at least put up a fight here, but that would be the only point of resistance, because next round it's going to be a buy that looks very similar to this. Exchanging weapons, Rez with the AK, there's 3 MAC-10s, Hampus into the Galil, and if they continue to play the type of Counter-Strike they have been, NIP, they should win this one. Shox gives up his position, and he's going to get run down.
Completely overrun.
17 for Rez now. Kyojin with a defensive smoke. The rotation of all 3 from B is coming, but they have to deal with Hampus.
Deep volley. Looking to fight. Kyojin took on the pit, the hay bale's position. Could catch him. Nice from Device, he contributes, but still, Vitality, they're kicking. A miss from Masuta does adjust. His Deek's doing it all for the French. Not only it brings it into 1v1, Hampus is there to solve the riddle. Damn, got close there, and Masuta's been a little bit of a shining light for Vitality, even in the face of a brutal loss. Saw him pull them up in that overpass game.
It's cool to see Threat being so loud, right? He's been the vocal element of the team here. The rest of them are kind of just focusing. And we always talk about that element of the coaches, right? Being a fire-up factor as well as obviously being the tactical minds. The player, the individual to keep you level-headed, contribute when the chips are down, bring the mood on up here. We're having the coach yelling behind you with the war cries after such a good map. 2 great maps in a row here for the Swedes, and just 5 more kills away from getting this first series done, locking himself in for the grand final, and then they can sit and watch Ents versus Astralis coming up next.
Pop flash in, and 4 more to go. Make it 3. Hampus just counting down to the grand final. 3 bodies remain from Vitality, and even LNZ could work on a fast flank here if he hears them rotate. May not be necessary, because they're just pushing for it. Look at where Hampus is. And it is going to conclude 16-2.
What an absolute showing from NIP here. Locked himself in for the grand final, the first team to do so. And those 2 back-to-back maps, you forget about Nuke, you forget about that Apex performance on the CT side, and, well, they look kind of happy with that. Way to lock themselves in. We talk about teams needing to peak at the right times, needing to step themselves up, and, well, we know the major's just around the corner here. NIP starting to look really, really hot.
You know what the players have been saying, right, about that major? It's about finding that peak as a team, as an individual, and finding that peak at the right time. Well, you know what, Chad? It is only just a few days away at this point. What is it, 17?
17, I do believe, so really just around the corner. 2 weeks, just over. And what has been 2 long years couldn't come soon enough. Good to see the players getting a bit of interaction here, and, well, Vitality, they've had a good tournament. They'll still get to play off in that decider for 3rd or 4th spot. But NIP in for that grand final and looking hot.
Absolutely. Astralis is on its way. We're taking a look at some Epic's picks, and we'll be getting this one party started over at the analyst desk.
Retour. Nice. GG les gars.
Nice.
Nice. Bien, sista där. Nice.
Nice.
Yep. Nice! Så ja!
Bra.
Fett bra!
Nice Fredde. Nice Fredde. Hinning. Nice.
Myself in the mirror not so long ago, and I told me, do you know? I told me, do you know? All alone in your head, but you don't have to pretend that you will make a change, 'cause you don't wanna change. I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll up.
Nice. Low kick gig. Då dödade han henne. Vad fan bra man.
Well, we have our first grand finalist, everybody, and let me tell you, it's not Vitality. Ninjas and Pyjamas pull through, they weather the storm, they do it in 3, and they find themselves a spot in that grand final that's going to be going down tomorrow. So make sure you check your calendars off for that one. Joining them will either be Astralis or Ince, but in the meantime, I want to invite you at home. That's right, you. You right there that isn't sure that I'm talking to you. To participate in our ESO Pro Tour and DHL presenting the DHL MVP. Vote for your MVP of the tournament. The top 5 players you can vote for in this match are being displayed on your screen right about now. We're starting out with ZywOo, of course, Apex, Rez, Kyojin, and Device will round out that list. Now, here's how you do it. Use your Twitch channel points to vote, and we will catch up with the winner at the end of the grand final, which ultimately means probably not going to be hearing from the Vitality side, if I had to guess, since they are not in that grand final, that's for sure. Again, this is ESL Pro Tour and DHL presenting the DHL MVP, so use those channel points wisely. We know you've been stacking them for a while. Speaking of stacks, Nip, they stacked it up. They ran it up. And here we are with Dinko and Yanko. Yanko, what just happened?
Yeah, the NIP just completely obliterated Vitality on Inferno, which we even consider could potentially be Vitality's pick. And I think NIP low-key has become like really, really strong on this map. I think they had a clear plan. They probably expected the pick as well. You know, some uncharacteristic things. Device every single time early on in the half going apps, right, to open up rounds there. Probably felt like that's where they could get a lot of openings, and just the banana fight. I mean, Vitality couldn't get anything done there. Zaiwu is actually the point player there, and he was either just dying straight up or he wasn't given enough support. It was a little bit of a weird approach from Vitality, where one guy is holding flashes for him, but he's mostly there alone. Try to throw maybe a few more bodies in there if you're struggling to get control.
And when they were losing those early players of Vitality, they were constantly caught by some more aggression elsewhere, right? We've seen some mid picks coming in from Rez, Hampus, always getting in towards apartments in the CT side. That was something Movistar Riders actually did a really good job on against NIP, was kind of stopping Hampus getting aggressive in the apartments. They weren't letting any of those early CT aggressive fights find the opening picks. And for Vitality, they just couldn't win that banana fight. And they were also just getting caught by deagles in these forced buy rounds as well. There was just so many holes in that T side for Vitality. Once you have such a bad first half, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, rough first half is not how anybody wants to start their game, much less a semi-final. For us, the game continues. For Device, the game continues.
Device, congratulations on that epic victory over Vitality. Give me your initial thoughts coming out. It looked like you and the team were extremely excited.
Oh yeah, we're excited of the win. We were really nervous, some of the youngsters in the first map, so trying to work with that and develop from that, and it's a very good experience for us. Incredibly proud of Linus and also the other, also Plopsky, right, coming back from a tough match, and also in general just where a lot of mistakes were made on our own map pick. So yeah, it still sucks a little bit, but we're happy we're in the final. But it's just a process, right? And yeah, the two last maps, I think we played as we could. Inferno as well. Like as I said, I'm really proud of the boys, because doing a mental reset like that is really hard, especially in these stages when you have never been here before. And yeah, we're in the final, and I'm so happy for that.
Was it in the break after Nuke, before Overpass, where there was a visible mental shift between the team, and that's what brought the momentum back when you came into Overpass and then going into Inferno?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, as I said, we talked about it. We have like some things we're working on, like how I can get some of them to like focus up or cool down if that's what's needed, right? Or talk more, over communicate, stuff like that, right? So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of talks, and also just a mental reset, and just like, we are legends. We don't have that much to play for. Like, we want to win the tournament, but don't feel too much pressure. Like, we have secured the most important part of the whole like tournament for us. So go out there, play without pressure, show what you can do, right? And I really believe that they did well.
You're so good at interviews these days, mate. Final question. This is a tough one, though. The opponent that you'll face in the final will be either Ents or Astralis.
Yeah.
Who do you want to play and why?
Astralis, of course. I mean, like, it's going to be such an epic match. I think it's good to have the first match. I think they're also excited for it. So yeah, I'm going to go with them. I think it's going to be a tough match, though, because I think Ents is a really good team. But yeah, I'm hoping to face them and hopefully have a good game, fun game. I think there will be a lot of like intense, like what do you call it, like feelings in that game, and yeah, it's going to be really good for both parties.
Well, congratulations on making it to the final. We will see you tomorrow.
There you go.
For Device and Company, they do move on to that grand final. For us, we move away from this matchup. Is there anything that we could put like a nail in the head right here, Yanko, in a way of describing what just went down?
Yeah, I think just like we heard from Device, they played pretty loose. The players didn't feel the pressure as much, and Vitality a bit too slow to adjust. We didn't see really until round 12 almost an attempt to quickly take mid or do something fast towards it.